is Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Gomez Law Firm.
Coming to you from Heroes Stadium on San Antonio's north side, it's Thursday Night Lights. Tonight a 28-6A district showdown between the Clark Cougars and the Roosevelt Rough Riders. And welcome inside to Heroes Stadium, everybody. Good evening. I'm Don Harris in the press box as always. On the sidelines, Chuck McTinnick, my broadcast partner. And Chuck, it's week 8. And whenever it's week 8, that means we know that playoff spots are on the line. Sometimes it's win and you're in. Sometimes it's lose and go home. It's very confusing in 28-6A, but we know this one matters.
Indeed it does, and you know that's what you love about 28-6A, right? All these league games seem to matter. It doesn't matter who you're playing, but this Roosevelt-Clark rivalry has really grown over these last couple of years because of precisely what you're seeing. It seems like this time of year, they're always jockeying either to get in or stay in the conversation when they hook up. And right now, Clark currently holding down the 4 seed in 28-6A. Roosevelt, they've still got the extra game, though, to get. So look what would happen if Roosevelt wins this game tonight. They would be equal in the loss column. So, as we like to say, Don, a little sauce for the goose here tonight on TNL.
Yep, and when it comes to those Clark Cougars, this is a name that sounds familiar. Their senior linebacker is Luke Gertz. His big brother, Chris, was quite the player for the Cougars, and the little brother walking in those footsteps.
Yeah, I mean, this guy Little in name alone, right? I mean, he's been one of their stalwarts for this program for the last 3 years. When you talk about these Clark Cougars, there was a lot of seniors that graduated from last year. They still have a very senior-laden team, but a lot of those seniors are inexperienced. Not Luke Gertz. This guy's going to be in the middle of everything, and I guarantee you we'll be calling his name a lot tonight.
Yeah, and with the big brother theme, Brennan Carroll, his big brother Bryson was a star quarterback, and little brother here's run for 1,300 yards, and Dad, who's the head coach, knows his son is something special.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's not only electric, he's the electric company. I mean, pressing 1,400 yards on the season. This young man had 1,000 of those yards in a 4-game stretch earlier this year. He runs a 4.5. He's already committed to RGV down in the Valley. This guy is something special, and we are very fortunate to watch him run the ball tonight.
All right, it's going to be a good one because a lot is on the line. It's Clark, it's Roosevelt. When we come back, we'll have our Gomez Law Firm keys to the game on Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Heroes Stadium. Clark and Roosevelt getting closer to kickoff. Right now, though, it's time for our Gomez Law Firm keys to the game. Chuck, you had a nice conversation with Clark coach J.L. Geist. What does he say they have to do to win?
Well, first of all, Don, they want to stay on track on offense. And what he means by that is they want to stay ahead of the chains. They don't want to be in long situations. If they stay on track, keep the ball moving 3-4 yards a pop, they feel like they can keep Roosevelt on their toes defensively. Secondly, they want to be great on 3rd and 4th down, which tells you his philosophy on offense. They want to be moving the chains at least at a 50% clip on 3rd and 4th down. And then, Don, actually, when you talk to Coach Geist, he gives you 5 keys in each of the 3 phases of the game. So we'll just leave it at that and get into the rest of them as we go on through this ball game.
If we did 15 keys, we'd be here all night. All right, let's talk about Roosevelt's keys. Matt Carroll. I'm sorry, let's first hear from J.L. Geist.
Coach Carroll and his staff do a great job. We know it's going to be tough. It has been the past couple of years a tough game, and it's been a down to the last minute the past couple of years too. Our guys aren't as focused on who we have to beat each week. It's more about, okay, this is the next game, and so yes, it is. It's another one of those. Man, this is a game that is going to determine playoffs, but they all are. And our guys know that when we get into district, it's a tough road.
It sure is. Speaking of that road, it has to go through Roosevelt tonight. Chuck, Matt Carroll's keys.
Well, they would like to control the ball at Roosevelt, and it's a little easier to do when you got 6. In fact, one of the keys for Clark is contain 6. So we'll give that one away right now. But corral the quarterback of the Clark Cougars. That's Philip Metzger. He's a special talent, and then win on special teams.
Here's Coach Matt Carroll.
Clark is certainly a team that's capable of beating us, and we're capable of beating them. And so this game on both ends for both teams is crucial. Like I tell our kids, we're really already in the playoffs. We've already started that process. So we've got to take care of business against a good Clark team, and then again just try to follow our goal sheets from the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's pretty much win or go home for Roosevelt. Lot to play for. When we come back, we'll have our national anthem, and we'll close in on kickoff. Clark and Roosevelt on Thursday Night Lights.
Tonight's broadcast of Thursday Night Lights is sponsored by Taco Cabana, the Gomez Law Firm, Steel North Star Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Centro Med, Enroll SA, Countywide Service Company, Dr. Drake Sleep Solutions, Christus Children's, San Antonio Sports, Valero, San Antonio Metropolitan Health District, Vietnam Army Grunt Museum, Beluga Air, Rhino Roofers, Texas Kidney Foundation, Air and Plumbing Today, Ron Hoover RV and Marine, Harlandale Independent School District, San Antonio Zoo, and Monarch Trophy Studio.
All right, the Clark Cougars are on the field. The Roosevelt Rough Riders busting through their run-through as well, as we are 2 minutes and 36 seconds away from kickoff here at Heroes Stadium. Chuck, when you looked at that standings and you see, really, we're talking about Roosevelt and Clark tonight, but Brandeis through 8, everything technically is still wide open. I mean, you would think these guys are going to some of these teams are going to take care of business, and Reagan and Johnston are going to take care of business. But as we stand here tonight, man, 3 through 8, everybody's got a chance, and that gives everybody a reason to play hard, and that's what we're going to have here tonight. Let's turn it over to our public address announcer as we are now ready for our national anthem.
Escort guard for the Texas flag, Cadet Second Lieutenant Gerardo Fernandez. Carrying the Texas flag, Cadet First Lieutenant Noe Navarro. Watching guard over our national colors is Cadet Second Lieutenant Vincent Galales. And having the honor of carrying the national colors and commander of the color guard tonight is Cadet Captain Valeria Lopez. Please remain standing and remove your hats and caps as the Roosevelt High School Band, under the direction of Robert Schneider, pays tribute to this great nation, our men and women in uniform throughout the world, and all of our veterans and first responders with the playing of our national anthem.
Coverage of tonight's national anthem is sponsored by the Vietnam Army Grunt Museum.
All of these great kids. Tell your friends and family that the game is also being streamed on CW35.com, News for San Antonio Facebook, and Fox San Antonio Facebook.
Game Time Weather is sponsored by Air and Plumbing Today.
That's right, time for our Air and Plumbing Today, game time weather, and it could not be a better night for football. 84 degrees, it is clear, nice and breezy. Sun went down, and it is a perfect night for high school football in San Antonio, Texas. The Roosevelt Rough Riders won the toss. They have elected to receive and take the football first. And so it's time for our Rhino Roofers first half kickoff. And the Clark Cougars will be doing the one kicking, and that is Jack Height, the junior, who does all the kicking duties for Clark. Back to receive for the Rough Riders is Elijah Smith. And here we go. So short little squibber. Roosevelt tries to advance it right at the 40, but they'll have really good field position at the 42 after the short return. And that'll bring out the Rough Rider offense led by their quarterback, Shai Marcajani. He's a junior. He completes 49% of his passes. He's thrown for 728 yards and 6 touchdowns. Doesn't run the football much, but Brennan Carroll does. Chuck referred to him as 6, and that's all you need to know. He'll carry it quite a bit. 184 totes on the year for over 1,300 yards. He's the head coach's son, and he's run for over 200 yards 3 different times this year. And here's carry number 1, not going anywhere. as the Clark defense up front snuffs that out. Here's a look at the Roosevelt offense. We will be calling Brennan Carroll's name quite a bit, but he has paved the way by guys like Jeremiah Bustamante and Ben Harmon up front, along with the seniors, Joshua Morales and Jamari Galloway, the big team captain in the San Antonio Sports All-Star, the right tackle. 2nd and 9, here's Carroll again, has some room this time and picks up about 5, gets to the 46, right at the 45 before being stopped short, and it'll be 3rd down and about 6. Defense led by Luke Gertz. We featured him in the pregame. They like to take the football away. They've got 9 fumble recoveries and 10 interceptions on the year. And Jesus Villanueva leads them in sacks with 6. Third down and 6. They give to Carroll again. Carroll's pushing forward. He's got the first down and a lot more. Brennan Carroll, Chuck, behind that right side, who did a great job leading the way.
Yeah, nothing's too special, right? Coming out of the gates here for Roosevelt. Just line up and smash mouth. 3 straight runs and a first down for Roosevelt. You know, Don, I don't know, at the beginning of the year we were talking about each of these teams this late in the year being in the mix. Roosevelt's very young. They've got some key seniors, but Clark, they've got a lot of seniors, but not a lot of guys with a lot of experience. These two teams have absolutely willed themselves to this spot.
It's a San Antonio Zoo first down. It's a slant over the middle. That's caught at the 25, down across the 20 into the Central Med red zone. That's Elijah Smith, and a nice toss there by Shai Marcajani.
Yeah, Coach Carroll really likes Shai Marcajani, really likes his arm, and thinks that this junior is going to be something special. That was a really nice job on the quick hitters. Wide receiver singled up, and a big play for the Riders here as they go up top for the first time in the ball game.
New set of downs for Shai with Carroll behind him. And it's Carroll, and this one's going nowhere as Jesus Villanueva makes the tackle, the outside linebacker there.
Yeah, that was a really nice play right there, just stepping up and bringing the big boy stuff to bring down the ball carrier. This guy now with 60 tackles on the season.
It'll be 2nd down and 11, loss of 1 on the play for Carroll. A little slow getting a play in here. Still with plenty of time to snap it, about 10 seconds. Send 2 receivers to the right-hand side. Carroll back there with Marcajani. And it's a delayed draw to Carroll, and he's off to the races. Carroll to the 5, brought down from behind. Touchdown saving tackle, but it looked like Brendan Carroll was going to go to the house. They trip him up at the 5, and it'll be 2nd. Let's see, are they going to give him a new set of downs? It's a first down, the San Antonio Zoo first down right at the 5.
Yeah, if you're the defense, you're thinking throw all the way, right? And the way Shai came out of the snap, it looked like he was going to drop back to pass it, but nope, just a quick handoff and another big chunk play for Roosevelt.
Wildcat for Carroll, beats his first man and fighting, touchdown, Brennan Carroll. On the Wildcat call, Chuck, nothing fancy about it. We're just going to run it down your throat, and the Riders strike first.
Yeah, and they talked about controlling the ball on the onset, right? And you couldn't have asked for a better way to start this football game for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Give it to 6, give it to them a lot, and end up with 6 at the end of the drive.
Boy, that first move to plant the left foot and avoid number 45, Gabe Navarro, was an impressive cut by Brennan Carroll. So the Riders take their first drive right down the field and score, and Clark will have it for the first time when we come back.
Hey, Teddy Roosevelt in the house. Doesn't Teddy look great?
What rapper released the Rough Rider anthem?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No?
No, I don't, but I just...
Anybody else know? Yes? DMX, correct. Who's got the messiest locker?
Bro, no way. That's good stuff right there. Our Dr. Drake's Sleep Solutions camera, the Smile Cam over at Roosevelt for that pep rally as the Rough Riders having a great time. Brad Souder, our weatherman on Fox 29, having a good time out there with the Rough Riders. Clark breaking the kick, coming back the other way, still on his feet, heading to the 50-45 in Roosevelt territory. A great kick return right there by Elisha Johnson, the wide receiver, and Clark will have great field position to start.
I was talking to Renee Maldonado, who's one of the Clark coaches before the game. I said, you got anybody coming up that's going to be special? And he said, yep, Elijah Johnson. Just a freshman, but man, you can see speed to burn. Nice play.
So we'll get a look at Philip Metzger, the quarterback for the Clark Cougars, and their offense. Metzger likes to put it up. He's attempted 156 passes on the year. He'll hand off inside for a gain of about 2. Montre Hodges, Armand Gardner, and Mario Mendoza are the running backs. That was Garner right there, the senior who has rushed 162 times for almost 700 yards and 3 touchdowns this year. And they're led up front by a senior-laden offensive front, including the center Keenan Giles and the right tackle Joseph Gillis. Second and 9, Metzger pressured, completes it over the middle, taking a big hit, losing the football, but getting it back is Lawrence Ford, and that's a San Antonio Zoo first down, and a nice strike from Philip Metzger.
Yeah, right on time, right on target, and a really good reception in traffic there by Lawrence Ford. Takes a licking, but keeps on ticking. Wow, we got an early collision of the game nominee.
Did he catch that? Interesting. Either way, it's a San Antonio Zoo first down. Metzger to the outside. That's Elijah Johnson. He leans forward near the 10. Clark inside the Central Med red zone. Ball spotted at the 11. It'll be second down and about 3.
Oh, we've only seen these Cougars here for 2 snaps, but man, they get in and out, right?
Look efficient. Very efficient offensive football team. Ethan Maldonado, number 3, is the favorite receiver for Metzger on the season. They split 3 wide, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Hand it off inside to Gardner. Gardner's got the 5, dives for the pylon, and got it. Touchdown, Cougars. Armand Gardner with the score.
Oh, it seems to be the refrain here on Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights these last few weeks. Early ping pong games break out under the lights. Roosevelt goes right down the field to get a touchdown, and Clark answers right back, lickety split style.
Great effort to dive for the pylon. And here's Jack Height to add the extra point. That kick is up, and that kick is good. And it's 7-7. Clark answering quickly, moving right down the field after that great kickoff return to put him in business. It's 7-7, and Roosevelt will have it at the top of the second inning when we come back.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by the Vietnam Army Grunt Museum. Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by the Vietnam Army Grunt Museum.
The Clark Cougars very efficient, moving right down the field. And it was Armin Garner, the senior, finishing off the drive with that nice dive for the pylon. So it's 7-7, and Clark will kick off. Jack Height again, kicking deep to Jamari Smothers, Brennan Carroll, and Elijah Smith, but he won't dare go down to those three electric return men. Instead, they'll squib it and give up the field position right at the 42-yard line, as that's covered up, and we'll go down to Matt Roy on the sidelines. Matt.
Well, thanks, Don Chuck. Entertaining on the field, and as always, my favorite part of the week, welcoming in Michael Hines from Taco Cabana. Mike, how are you today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well, as always. It's always nice to see you. You guys continue to give back to the community with things like TNL and even another operation you guys have going on at all your locations.
Yes, right now and still going on. I've been going on for over the year. We have a Proxia for kids, which it's round up to the nearest dollar so we can give back to the kids. We're roughly over $50,000 in funds that we've raised this year already.
I mean, they can't give enough back to the kids. So you guys continue to give back every year. Why do you guys as a company continue to support us here on TNL and the community here in San Antonio?
Just showing them that Taco Cabana has been here for 45 years and we want to stay and we want to continue to show that we're going to grow with the community.
Well, you're holding a box that says quesadillas make everything better.
Exactly.
And I can't disagree with that, even though I would add tacos to the list as well. But what do we got in there?
So this is the Frito Pie quesadilla right now that we're selling at Taco Cabana. It has chili, it has Fritos, jalapenos, and pico de gallo inside of it.
There's a reason that I don't start my diets until after TNL season, because Mike comes, he brings awesome stuff like this. So let's get into it, dude. There we go. Cheers.
You got one job, and that's bring a few up here. Did somebody say
on my way,
Frito
Chuck.
pie
I'm on my way.
quesadillas?
You know, there was a time.
That's a match made in heaven, Don.
There was a time when Mike Hernandez was doing sidelines when the tacos made their way to the press box. I'm not saying anything about Matt Roy, but they don't ever seem to get here anymore.
I'm glad you put him on the spot. Maybe he'll move to action.
Brennan Carroll picking up a San Antonio Zoo first down for the Rough Riders as they try to answer Clark's score. They swing it out for their first pass of the night. It's complete. And that goes to Zaylen Davis-Shears for a nice gain. And that'll set up second down and about 6.
Roosevelt now working the entirety of the field as they try to mix things up on this Clark defense, which has been very opportunistic. Don, you mentioned it a couple minutes ago about how many plays these guys have made on defense. I mean, Gertz alone has had 2 pick sixes this season.
Shai Marcajani is aware of that as he looks over the Clark defense, hands to Carroll. Carroll off tackle. Got to give these offensive linemen for Roosevelt a lot of credit because there is nothing fancy. And they know that Brennan Carroll is going to carry the ball 20 times a game. And there's still not a lot that they can do about it. Jamari Galloway up front, number 57, the right tackle, is a impressive football player, a San Antonio Sports All-Star at 6'3", 330. And you look at some of the other big guys up front leading the way, including the center Ben Harmon.
Yeah, and Bustamante over on the left side, who's just a junior, is also a team captain. So those guys have helping 6 get his.
That's all Carroll, and he's off. Oh, he just got tripped up. I was getting ready to call a touchdown, and out of nowhere comes number 34, Jerry Munoz, to grab him by the shoestring.
Yeah, Jerry's another guy that's having a great season. 15 tackles coming into this one, a few sacks, and 5 tackle for losses. This Clark defense has made the most of their opportunities when they either A, get around the football, or B, can make a play in the backfield.
Brennan Carroll, the subject of our Texas Kidney Foundation player profile. No doubt that he runs track so quick, 5'8", 180. Chuck talked about his commitment to UTRGV. And they fake it to him this time, throw to the outside, making a man miss and getting the Central Med red zone, and down to about the 18-yard line is Carmelo Bios.
You just see how efficient these Roosevelt Rough Riders can be on offense, right? I mean, everybody's looking at 6. How can you not? And then that's just opening up passing lanes. Shy 2 for 2, and some nice plays here throwing it when they've decided to go up top.
It's a San Antonio Zoo first down for the Rough Riders, who have moved quickly right down the field and are threatening to score again here in the first quarter. In motion goes Davis Shears. Instead, it's Carroll right up the gut. Brennan Carroll, touchdown Roosevelt, making it look easy as he has all year.
Yeah, I mean, again, you talked about the offensive line. You got Bornicelli, we haven't talked much about. Morales, the 2 guards, these guys doing a whale of a job. And your guy, Jamari Galloway, down there on the second level, making some creases. Very well executed for Roosevelt here as they make it 2 for 2 on touchdown drives.
18 yards on the score. C.J. McLaren on to kick the extra point. That kick is up. Looked like it may have been tipped, but it's good. And it's 14-7 Roosevelt. Clark will answer when we come to the bottom of the second inning when we come back. Carroll keeps. Carroll into space. Bryson Carroll, touchdown Riders. Bryson Carroll taking it himself. Carroll throws to the corner of the end zone, got a man, caught, touchdown, Roosevelt. Bryson Carroll's not going anywhere, and neither is Aberdeen Bello. 2016, Bryson Carroll is all grown up now, graduated from the University of New Mexico, where he played football and is now coaching at Little Elm High School in the Dallas area. I talked to Dad, and Dad said, you know what? I never get to see his games because his schedule's the same as mine. They play tonight. And he's actually coaching linebackers. So it's all in the family for Coach Carroll, who is now coaching his younger son, Brennan, but Bryson was a heck of a player here on TNL.
Yeah. Dad was a pretty good player, too. He's doing a really good job with these Rough Riders. Again, I don't know at the beginning of the year that you could have said we'd be this late in the season with as young as Roosevelt is, pretty much top to bottom, but yet here they are and really looking the part here tonight.
It's a San Antonio Zoo first down for the Clark Cougars as they try to answer. They hand off inside to Armin Gardner for a short gain, and we'll go down to Matt Roy.
Well, lucky enough to have our presenting sponsor, a representative at least from our presenting sponsor, the Gomez Law Firm, Crystal Wright here. Crystal, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you? So excited to be here.
I'm doing fantastic. We're happy to have you guys on as presenting sponsor once again. What is it that makes the Gomez Law Firm different than all the other law firms here in San Antonio?
First of all, I want to say how excited I am to be here. As a former Clark Cougar alum, this game brings back so many memories, so I'm really happy to be here tonight.
Clark Cougars. You know the whole fight song and everything, don't you?
Yes, I mean, it's been a long, long time, but I have some memories coming back to me.
Well, that's one of the things that makes you guys different at the Gomez Law Firm, isn't it? It's everybody that is from here, either from Bernie or from New Braunfels, from here in San Antonio, like Mr. Gomez.
We have deep, deep roots in the San Antonio community, and that's why giving back is so important to the Gomez Law Firm. And in continuing with our commitment to the community, we're gearing up for the holiday season. We have a toy drive with Shields for Kids, and we're having our turkey giveaway in November. So everybody come out, come say hi, and always remember Gomez Law fights.
Yes, they do, and they're from here. Gamez Lafayette. We'll get it back up to you guys.
Great job, former Cougar there, as Metzger rolls and fires and overshoots his intended receiver. And Chuck, on that earlier possession, we've called his name a couple of times now, Lawrence Ford, the wide receiver number 85. Good looking talent right there.
Yeah, big, can run, obviously runs really good routes, but kudos to Ivan Gaines, the junior safety for Roosevelt, coming over there and really mucking up that throwing lane.
Matt Roy having to get out of the way of the football with a full belly of Frito pie quesadillas. Here's Gardner inside, back to the line of scrimmage. No gain, good job up front by the Riders' front four, and that'll set up 3rd and long. Roosevelt with a chance to get a stop here. Adrian Alvarado and Josiah Ali leading the way.
Yeah, Josiah, 35. First of all, hats off to him. He came out and helped us do a weather segment with Alex Garcia tonight. Just a great young man, and I think Matt Carroll said it best. He's, if not the best, one of the best defensive edge rushers in the entire area.
He'll be coming here. Back to pass, over the middle and through the hands of Ford. That'll set up 4th down. The analytics these days, I never know when somebody's going to punt. They don't always, nobody punts anymore. And at midfield, they're going to go for it, it looks like. Of course, remember, Metzger is their punter, and he's done a lot of quick kicking on the year too, and that's why Carroll will send back Jamari Smothers, standing at about the 30.
Well, Roosevelt's certainly trying to stop him from getting a first down, and they're bunching up around the line of scrimmage and daring Clark to go for it, but they decide to kick it away.
And here's Smothers getting to the outside where he's smothered by Ford at about the 18-yard line, and we're back in 15.
Do you know a San Antonio teen in 7th to 12th grade looking for ways to get involved in the community? They can apply to be a Project Worth Teen Ambassador today. For more information, visit our website or call 210-207-8850.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, and Shai Marcajani, only a junior. Impressive young quarterback, but everybody's got their eyes on number 6, who's been electric tonight. Chuck said he wasn't electric, he was the electric company, and that's been the case. They ran this play on the first drive. It works again. The slant to Elijah Smith picks up the San Antonio Zoo 1st down, moves the sticks as we tick down inside a minute left here in this 1st quarter.
Well, you're seeing just how strong an arm Shai's got back there. I mean, this dude really looks the part. You walk around before the game and you see this dude 6'5", throwing rocket balls all over the park and right on target. Again, Roosevelt's going to be happy they've got him for another year. This guy, really something special.
They'll pitch it to Carroll, goes outside, now cuts and finds the hole, sidesteps and picks up 2 more. He's 2nd down and 6. Carroll was an all-district performer a year ago. He's one of our San Antonio Sports All-Stars. We talked about him going to play for Travis Bush, who was the coach at Canyon High School last year, who's now the new head coach as they start a football program at UT Rio Grande Valley, but he also had offers from Air Force and Army, Navy, UIW, Columbia, A&M Commerce, and Houston Christian. And that's only because of his size. He's a little undersized, but boy, is he fun to watch, and he is on the board twice. Roosevelt will have it when we come back with 2nd quarter action on Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back. Time for our Harlandale Independent School District first quarter highlights. The Roosevelt Rough Riders got on the board first with the Brennan Carroll touchdown. Look at the quick move to jump outside and then turn his way in. But Clark moved right down the field. Great diving cone play by Armin Gardner to extend to tie it up. And then Carroll answered right back, right up the middle. No one's going to get him. And it's 14-7 Roosevelt. They've got the football back. It is 2nd down and 7 as we switch ends and they scrimmage from the 32. Take a look at our first quarter stats. As we expected, Chuck, when Carroll's doing that, they're going to lead in most of the categories.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating about his game, right? You look at him and you're thinking, okay, he's really fast. He's got some moves, but he's surprisingly strong too. I mean, you saw it at the end of that first touchdown run. He taking on 3 guys and he just can bully ball his way into the end zone. He's got the entire package, and just think about when he gets a little older and a little broader. I mean, this guy's going to be something special at the next level.
He picks up a countywide service company first down for the Roosevelt Rough Riders as they move the sticks. Run a little reverse here, and finding a seam and picking up about maybe the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, is Zaylen Davis Shears.
I don't know who was pulling for Roosevelt, but man, they really got out there in a hurry to help try to spring Davis Shears on the run. And one Clark Cougar getting up a little slowly there. It was Carlos Camarillo, the sophomore. Watch how quickly these Rough Riders got out there. Willing participants as blockers are those wide receivers on most downs. Clark doing a really good job, though, of getting some penetration, and coming up and making a play was Gabe Navarro and company.
We'll call it 2nd down and 9 for Mark Ajani as they run Davis Shears in motion and pre-snap whistle. And I believe Roosevelt wanted a timeout before the snap. They couldn't quite get everything in, being confused, and so they'll take it. We will too. 14-7 Roosevelt when we return.
You're watching Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Gomez Law Firm.
10:22 left here in the first half. Roosevelt on top of Clark and the Riders with the football and another pre-snap whistle. This time it's a penalty. And it's going to be a false start, I do believe. No flags in the first quarter. Jim Sartwell III is our referee. Leland Page, Tom Lech, Lausch, Steve Maka.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, disconcerting signals against number 75 in the defense, calling the offensive case, causing the offensive lineman to jump. 5 yards from the previous spot, still 2nd down.
Interesting call there. So they were simulating the call, simulating the cadence, trying to draw them off to move by screaming out their snap count. So we'll give them 5 yards. It'll be second down and 4. They fake the Carroll. Now they're going to throw back to him down the sideline on a wheel route, and it's a touchdown again for Brennan Carroll. What a call and what execution by Shai Marcajani.
And you're not kidding. I mean, we could see that as clear as day from where we're sitting. What a great route. And the defender bit, but I mean, you sure don't think this is coming back the other way, do you? Until it does, and they're going to find another way to get Six the ball through the air.
Extra point will make it 21-7 if the kick goes through off the foot of C.J. McLaren. That kick is up, that kick is good. Brennan Carroll has 3 touchdowns. The Clark Cougars have 1. It's 21-7. And they just froze that defense with that call. Second quarter action continues when we return. Brennan Carroll with his 3rd touchdown, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. He's closing in on 100 yards on 12 carries tonight. And this Clark team looking to kind of clinch a playoff spot tonight, all of a sudden has been smacked right in the mouth by the Rough Riders.
Well, you saw Clark earlier when they kicked off trying to maybe steal a possession, knowing that Roosevelt was going to have some offensive touches and try to get one maybe extra for them, but you know, you cannot afford to get too far behind, because right now Roosevelt's had 3 possessions and they've stuffed it in 3 times in a row. So this is now all of a sudden turning out to be one of those games where you're going to have to answer, Clark. They know it.
So they will run Philip Metzger in that offense back here, trying to get on the board to cut it to a touchdown lead. Very impressive on their first drive. And like you said, Chuck, if you have a 3 and out once against this Roosevelt team, you can find yourself down another possession, just because they're going to score every possession, it appears, as they hand off. Bouncing it to the outside is a Montre Hodges, and he's drilled at about the 29-yard line, but not before a nice pickup of almost 10 yards. It'll be second down, and we'll mark it 2 yards short of the line to gain.
Yeah, great run, and Ivan Garcia sticking his nose in there and making sure that the ball carrier didn't get any further.
So second down and 2. I told you they run Gardner and Hodges and Mario Mendoza as well. Plenty of running backs in that stable. Metzger wants to throw here, has 3 wide receivers to his right, has a man wide open, it's caught and it's broken across the 35 to the 30, ball comes out, it's still on the ground. Roosevelt recovers. The Riders come up with a huge turnover after a big gain by the Clark offense.
Well, Philip Metzger, the Clark quarterback, will not get rattled no matter what the score is. That was a great ball. Drop back and strike to Ford, who comes down with the ball, but then there's number 15 again coming in and making a play. Ivan Garcia pokes it out, and Roosevelt stops the drive. That's great football playing right there by Ivan Garcia. 2 consecutive plays in a row, and a turnover gives it right back to the Roosevelt offense.
Antonio Guerra gets the recovery after the strip by Garcia. And Clark is off the field after just 1 play. They'll hand it to Smith, and he's got a first down, a countywide service company first down. If they give him the mark where I thought he went out, they might spot it back a yard short. We'll see where they spot it. 2 yards short, actually. He stepped out at about the 26.5.
Yeah, you can see this is what Roosevelt's done all year long. They really don't want to overload Brennan Carroll, although you can see what he does when he gets his hands on the football. But they rotate a couple of guys in and out of there to kind of spell him, because these guys that can tote the rock, you know, they're more than just 1 guy deep.
And here he is in the Wildcat. He keeps this time, cuts it inside, and maybe gets a yard. It'll be 3rd down and long. Here's one of our Texas Kidney Foundation player profiles. It's on Jeremiah Bustamante, the big 6'3", 230-pound offensive lineman. He's a captain. He's a 3-year starter. He also participates in track and field. And he is up front on the left-hand side for the Riders. It's Carroll again in the Wildcat. 3rd and, we'll call it 2. He fakes, he keeps, and he lunges forward. It's going to be really just back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down, and this is precarious. And Carroll will kick it, being on his own short field at the 26.
You know, they didn't get the first down there, but did you see that play? I mean, Roosevelt's playing chess back there with their blocking scheme. They had 2 guys downfield ready to throw blocks. Had Brennan Carroll been able to get past the first line of defense. Hello.
Little fake. I don't think he got there.
Ooh, it's going to be close.
They're going to mark it well short. And the Clark Cougars turn them over, and will have the football. Wait. They're giving it to him? They gave it to him. That's an interesting spot. It looked well short, but that could be just where the markers were on the far sideline, and they could have been mistaken. So they pick it up. My fault.
Yeah, it was a gutsy call, but Roosevelt will maintain possession.
I talked to Coach Carroll before the game. He said there's no use leaving things in the bag. They're going to leave it all out there tonight. All the trick plays that they've been practicing all year, that's what you're going to see from them all night long.
Matt, from your spot, did it look like it was enough for the line to gain?
It looked a little short, but that's why I don't get ref money, you know.
All right.
Looked a little short to me.
Well, there's no replay. There's no challenges, and so we move on 2nd down and 2 now after a nice gain on 1st down.
Well, I mean, that's what life is like in 28-6A. I mean, if you're the Clark defense, you did a great job seemingly getting him off the field. Now you got to bow up and try to do it again.
Shy will roll out and fire and complete it across the 45. That's Elijah Smith, who's got his 3rd reception of the game. And something to watch here as Brennan Carroll has asked out of the game. I don't know if he's just fatigued or if he may have tweaked something there, but he's out for the moment. It's a countywide 1st down for the Riders.
Well, I really like this Marcajani playing quarterback too. I mean, he gets everybody to where they need to go. Big guy, big arm, everything is right on target. Everything is crisp and clean, and young man is 6 for 6 for 111 to start this game and a touchdown.
Very nice. Inside handoff. Going forward for a couple is Zaylen Davis-Shears. Carroll's good to go. He just came out to get a little rest and a drink of water. Second down and 7 without him, though, as he will stay on the sideline for this snap. They'll run it with Shai Marcajani and Zaylen Davis-Shears in the backfield. And there'll be a little pass out here to Smith. Smith dives forward. He's near the marker. And they'll move the chains for another countywide service company first down. That's a little sidearm, huh?
You know, I know that Shai plays basketball, but man, the kid might be a middle infielder too. I mean, that was very, very smooth.
It's a countywide service company first down. Marcajani gets everybody in position. And now tosses it to Carroll, who's back in the game. He's going wide. And he's pushed out of bounds after a gain of about 3.
So Clark Cougars showing some speed there too. Kevin Ramon, the senior, who possessed 49 tackles coming into this one, including 2 TFLs and 2 for forced fumbles. Getting over there in a hurry as well. Like a big dude too.
Second down and 7. Roosevelt at the Clark 40. Here's Carroll up the middle. And he seems to embrace contact and physicality. Like, you know, a lot of running backs would love to bounce it outside and sprint down the sidelines. He wants to hit somebody.
Right, so he can do that too, right? He can bounce it outside, but yeah, there have been a lot of dirty yards already that he's gotten in this ball game. And hats off for what Roosevelt is doing right now. I mean, they're just taking it right to Clark. And, you know, again, this has just been a magnificent first half for them possessing the football, not only scoring touchdowns and finishing drives, but look at what they're doing to this clock here and keeping Clark's offense off the field.
3rd and 4. You know they're going to go for it in 2-down territory if they must. Instead, they go up top wide open to Smith. And that's the first time Marcajani would want one back tonight, because he had Smith wide open and he just airmailed him.
Yeah, everybody looking inside, trying to stop the run. You can't blame him with the success that Roosevelt has had rushing it so far tonight, but just didn't quite set his feet, threw it off his back foot and sailed it just a little bit. But tip of the cat. I mean, anytime you start the game as a quarterback 7 for 7 with 119 and a touchdown, then inevitable that you were going to have an incomplete at some point, right?
4th and 4. What are the odds number 6 touches the football here? And now we have a flag, and it might be 4th and 9 now after that. So that's one of those interesting calls. You know it's 2-down territory. You're 3rd and 4. You throw an incompletion. Matt Carroll might want to have that back, knowing it's 2-down territory. You run it, get a couple, and then it's 4th and 2. Now you're back punting the football. Not something he wanted to do in this situation, this part of the field.
Well, let's see if they end up doing it, right?
Where's the rest of y'all at?
Angling towards the sideline is McLaren. Tried to anyway. Good kick right at the 10-yard line. Anything inside the 20 is good stuff. And we're back in 15 seconds.
Hey San Antonio teens! Are you looking for ways to share your voice, creativity, and ideas on ways to positively impact the community? Become a Project Worth Teen Ambassador. For more information, visit our website or call 210-207-8850.
.505 left in the half. Clark has had a couple possessions where they got off the field quickly on turnover in the last one. And a Roosevelt stop precluded another drive from going anywhere as they complete this one out in the flat and out of bounds for a short gain to the freshman, Elisha Johnson.
Christian Strickland out there on the edge, helping get his guy a couple extra yards.
He's second down and 5. Smart play to stop the clock. Plenty of time, though, here in the half. Philip Metzger, the quarterback. Straight drop, looking right. Has time now. Doesn't have anybody open, so he just kind of chucks it out of bounds. Good coverage in a nice soft zone. The Roosevelt Rough Riders have dropped all their linebackers on that right side as well, so he had nowhere to go with the football.
Yeah, that was one of the few times that Metzger hasn't had somebody available downfield, i.e. Ford, right? He's been open on some long ones. I mean, he really runs nice routes for a big guy. Gets downfield and made a couple of big plays so far in this football game.
So it's third down and 5. Clark on their own 15-yard line. Looking left, fires that slant. That's caught. Good for a countywide service company first down. That'll move the sticks. And a nice fastball to Christian Strickland from Metzger.
Yeah, you can tell Metzger's played a lot of football, right? Throw into the teeth of the blitz. Usually you'll have something available. Metzger doing a really nice job there, getting the ball out quickly, getting it out on time, and a key first down here for Clark as they try to make this a one-score game before halftime.
4:22 and counting. Countywide Service Company first down. Metzger looking deep, fires deep into double coverage. And a great job, an athletic play by the Roosevelt corner, Ivan Gaines, climbing the ladder to break that up. He and Ford both went airborne for it.
And Ford landing awkwardly on his way down, but they got to give it to TR, man. You have two guys back there, and I think Ford landed awkwardly. How about 3 on the back end for these Roosevelt Rough Riders? Ivan Gaines making another play.
Man, Gaines going up high and just no regard for his body. And so it'll be second down and 10. And we've got pre-snap whistles here. Clark wants to talk it over. Take a timeout. Give us time to tell you about San Antonio Sports' Beyond the Game program. You know, all season long we've highlighted teams that make a difference in our communities with the Beyond the Game program. Here's Jenny Carnes from San Antonio Sports and Valero to tell us more.
San Antonio Sports has teamed up with Valero once again to recognize our high school and middle school teams that exhibit key values through their actions and efforts within their schools and the community. We are thrilled that Valero has joined our team. They are a company that lives their values and makes San Antonio a better place for all of us.
At Valero, we treat every day like game day. And this is a unique opportunity for Valero to support a program that showcases student athletes off the field who are building a foundation of values, integrity, respect, teamwork, excellence, and community service, so deeply rooted in Valero's culture and critical to success in life.
Teams will be recognized on CW35's Thursday Night Lights, WOAI News for San Antonio, and Fox 29 morning shows and weekend sports shows, and of course on social media. 4 teams will be recognized during the San Antonio All-Star football game in the Alamo Dome.
For over 40 years, Valero has given back to improve the quality of life in the communities where we live and work. Our employees have a passion for helping to build better communities and regularly share their time and talents. It's inspiring to see so many teams selflessly serving others, and we are proud to partner with Beyond the Game to recognize these outstanding students.
Having Valero as a teammate for Beyond the Game will help this program continue to positively impact more teams, coaches, and families. You can visit sanantoniosports.org and learn more about the program and nominate your team today.
All right, back to action here. Second down for the Cougars. Metzger carrying it himself, trying to get to the edge. Does, gets the 30, gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with about 4:02. And it'll be second down, actually third down now, and about 5.
very fascinating to see how much respect the Clark Cougars have for 35 Josiah Ali. There were 3 dudes blocking him on that play away from him. What a football player this guy is.
And people know it. Angelo State's got an offer. Sam Houston.
Maybe RGB too.
Metzger rolls right, fires, and that ball's picked off and dropped. Oh, that was a pick 6 for Christian Salazar. I thought he took 3 steps with it. He can't believe it.
Now Metzger getting barreled down upon by Josiah Ali, and that almost meant big things for Christian Salazar. At least he gets a PBU out of it. But boy, he would like to have that one back for sure.
So it's 4th down. Metzger is their quarterback. He's also their punter. And he does kick it away. High, good kick. Deep, bounces at the 32 and fielded inexplicably by Christian Strickland. That was a dangerous play. We flash back to 2013.
Read off the stats: over 200 yards, passing, 5 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. If you played fantasy football, you would draft this guy, Jacob Preciado, number 1.
I was in the zone today. I was focused today. I didn't really worry about anything else but the game, and it just came to me.
First win at Roosevelt, how's that feel for you?
Oh, it feels great. You know, I thank God first for just being able, having the opportunity to be here, and I'm certainly proud of all these kids.
His first win 10 years ago, and Matt Carroll's still going strong here at Roosevelt High School.
Hasn't aged either. You notice that?
Yeah, that's true.
Standing next to Nick Smizek, who has aged.
Standing next to
really
David Chancellor,
him, right?
who hasn't.
Yes, same guy.
David Chancellor's drinking the same stuff as Tom Brady and Rob Lowe. Nick Smizek calling the plays here for this Roosevelt offense.
Yeah, and he was on the Clark staff last year.
That's a free play. Did they throw a flag? Because down the sidelines and across midfield is Christian Strickland. Clark jumps outside. I thought it was a free play, no call. The name Nick Smizek sounds familiar. Well, Nick, who called this play right here, was one of the stars of the McAllister Park Little League team, the first team that went to Williamsport for the Little League World Series, and then was an outstanding high school football player at Churchill. And then coached at Clark and some others, and now he's calling plays here as the offensive coordinator. Got to talk with Nick pregame. Just love that kid. Remember that smile when he was a 7th grader, and now he's all grown up and on his way to a nice coaching career, following in the footsteps of his dad, Kevin Smizek, who's been an outstanding coach in both football and basketball in our area for many, many years. Great family.
Yeah, and I think, you know, of all the cool things that you and I have gotten to do over our careers, I mean, that's an all-timer for me. I'm pretty sure it is for you too, right? To be able to go to Williamsport and tell those stories for a few days.
It was, you know, it's up there with the Rose Bowl. The Vince Young Rose Bowl is one of the trips that we've gone on. You don't really think of the Little League World Series, but once you're there, man, and you step into baseball heaven, it's absolutely just goosebumps. Such a cool atmosphere.
It really is. And I think that was just the perfect storm, right? There wasn't a lot going on that summer, and no team had ever punched its way through to Williamsport. So, like, just the forces of nature's all converged. And there we all were in Williamsport. I got a chance to thank Nick for giving me that opportunity to see that for myself. It wouldn't have been for those guys, we wouldn't have been there.
That's right. That's right. It was a fun summer. Those guys, they got a river parade, and they're in the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. Captured the city for sure. Inside handoff to Carroll. He's loose again. He's across the 40. He pushes his way down to about the 38-yard line. There is a flag on the far sidelines and the near sidelines. We'll have to sort that out. Look on Matt Carroll's face is he knows he's holding a false start.
Previous spot, 5-yard penalty for beating the previous down.
There's some movement there. You know, the purity of that Little League World Series experience. I remember Nick Smizek, they lost to California, and he had a couple of errors in that play, and in that game, and he cried, and we went to interview him, and here we are. You know, we're interviewing Tim Duncan and David Robinson, and Troy Aikman, and these professionals. And here we are, because of the stage, we're interviewing 7th graders. As they throw it back, and a great job by the Clark defense to snuff that out on 3rd down, and Roosevelt will have to punt. So we're interviewing 7th graders like they're professional athletes because they're on national TV, and Brent Musburger's doing their games. And I just remember they're holding the microphone going, this is kids the same age as my son Grant. And I can't imagine the pressure on this kid in this nationally televised game. And afterwards, even though they had lost, they were more excited about going back and playing ping pong in the dorm.
And meeting kids from other countries and making the human experience. I know that there were so many great stories that came out of it. I mean, from the Fox perspective, you know, that stuff was all going on, and, you know, a lot of those regional games were being televised. And I remember John Siebers, our GM at the time, I went, yeah, I think this is a really big deal. If they get there, I think we should go. He's like, you know, just cover it from TV. You don't really have to go. And then so I kind of put it aside, and then he saw the ratings that were going on during the regionals when these guys were on TV, and he's like, book the flight, you're going. You know, it was one of those things that got everybody's attention, even with the data, that the whole town was clued in to what was going on with these little guys at the time. And again, just a lot of great memories, not only for them, but for us as well.
Yeah, they captured the heart of the city, man. And I remember that river parade afterwards, and driving to Scranton, Pennsylvania to find an edit bay to edit our videotape.
And we were driving to and from Baltimore 2.5, 3 hours every day, and it was worth every second.
It's fun stuff. Great little town, too. 4th down, Roosevelt will punt it away, or will they? This time they do. And that ball will bounce inside the 20, down inside the 10. They got a chance to stop it on the 1. And they do. Inside the 1.
Hey, Don, when you guys were in Scranton, did you stop by the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company?
Yeah, no. I think it was pre-Dunder Mifflin.
Oh, man.
Pre-Dunder Mifflin. It was an interesting country there, though. Pretty country.
Well, big break for Clark there, as that ball is ruled a touchback. So we'll see what the Cougs do at 114.
Did his momentum carry him in? Just leave it on the ground, son. Ugh, that's just...
I think he was trying to obviously stop his momentum from going into the end zone.
He was trying to hand it to 75.
It looked like he had both feet down, though, and control of the ball. Interesting.
Just set it on the ground and walk away. .116 to play. Clark gets it on their 20. Metzger wants to throw, does. Completes it on the sideline. Clock will run. It'll be a a first down. Countywide Service Company first down. Metzger will throw again. That one's tipped. And incomplete. Good coverage there by that. I'm impressed with the Roosevelt secondary.
Yeah, I'm impressed with this Roosevelt defense, period, because you can see how aggressive Clark is with these pass plays, right? I mean, there's nothing, no dinking and dunking, man. They're trying to get chunks every single time.
And Marion Miller tipped that one. Inside of a minute. 2nd down and 10. Metzger to throw, pressured, fires, and dropped again. The second dropped pick 6 by Christian Salazar.
Miscommunication by the Clark offense there. Receiver goes deep, throw goes short.
And the Cougs very fortunate to have that one hit the ground.
Be 3rd down and 10.
But again, these guys are in the right spot, right, for the Roosevelt DB squad to make a play. Everything's right there in front of him as we take a look at big number 35, Josiah Ali.
He had pressure the last time. He's coming again. Tripped up and sacked. And there he is. You can see the big fella can motor as well as stop the run at 305 pounds. Josiah Ali.
Look at him come from the far side of the field to make a play. I mean, this guy really, really moves. We call him Dancing Bear, but that would be really disparaging. I mean, he's just a great athlete that happens to be really, really big. He takes his helmet off so we can see his hair too, because it is elite.
A 3-year starter. He was the newcomer of the year when he hit the district as a sophomore back in 2021.
No doubt this guy's an all-star too. I mean, and deservedly so for the career that he's had at Roosevelt High School. As we take a look at all 3 of their studs that they're going to have playing in our game early next year. Called their name a lot, all of them tonight.
Galloway's done a great job on that right side blocking for Carroll. And Ali has just been too much for Clark to handle. So they're going to put 46 seconds on the clock here on 4th down. Roosevelt wanting to stop it to get the ball back and have a chance. Really, there's a good chance that they'll have the football on the Clark side of the field, depending on the return. And J.L. Geis explaining to his special teams unit what his thoughts are on where he'd like this one to end up. But Christian Strickland is really deep, all the way back to his own 35-yard line. That ball's way short of that. Bounces at the 50, and Clark will kill it on their own end, 49-yard line. And so Coach Carroll and the Riders will have about 35 seconds and 2 timeouts. So we take a look at our Dr. Drake Sleep Solutions Smile Cam. Lots of pink in the stands tonight for breast cancer awareness. Roosevelt with a lot to smile about. Up 2 touchdowns here going into the half, maybe 3.
Yeah, they've really played a whale of a football game on both sides of the football. They kind of emptied the tank here too. We've seen some trickeration on 4th down. Shai Markajani, again, 1 incomplete. As much as Roosevelt likes to run the football, when you back it up with a first half like that, that makes a football team awfully tough to stop.
See if they try Carroll on a run here and then burn a timeout, because he can always pop one even on the run. They'll counter him right up the middle. That'll take the clock to 33. And they're not going to stop it. 26. They go quickly, though. Tick-tock at 19. And I think they're going to have a false start because the center didn't snap it when he wanted the football.
I think they had a little twitch, too, on the right side with one of the receivers.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 14 of the offense.
Yep.
As the clock is running inside 1 minute of play, a
10-second runoff, that's a half.
Play. To prevent that, Theodore Roosevelt calls their last timeout of the first half.
Okay, so they can prevent the 10-second run out by using that timeout. And so they burn the timeout. They got 8 seconds to go, and Carroll and Smizek are talking over what they'd like to do here.
So you've got the football, you're Roosevelt. You got probably 1 play left, maybe 2 if you did something quick out of bounds, but it's always fun to see what a team decides to do and how they're going to pair something like this, right? I mean, you probably got the arm strength of the quarterback to throw it all the way down near the goal line, or do you just spread the field,
and then get 6 running a crossing route and then hope he can make a play with his feet once you get his feet moving.
Well, it appears they may go 5 wide because you saw Smizek wave over Elijah Brock and Devin Garcia, a couple of the other receivers that have been out there with Smith and Davis Shears. So I know what I'd do. I'd do what they tried to do the other night at the end of that last game we did, where you send everybody deep and run 6 underneath, get him the football about 10 or 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, and then just see if he can make something happen. But I would put the ball in 6's hands, and they will here on the Wildcat. Now Clark is going to burn a timeout after they see the formation. Don't forget, coming up is our Centromed halftime show, and during the halftime show, you'll have a chance to vote for these impressive bands. A $5,000 band grant, always given by Christus Children's. You vote for your favorite TNL band. You scan the code right there on your screen or go to CW35.com. We've had some impressive bands. One of the bands all season long will get the $5,000 band grant. And we'll get a chance to see the Clark and Roosevelt bands coming up tonight.
Well, we had 4 touchdowns on 5 possessions to start. Now, all of a sudden, the defenses are starting to settle in here late in the second quarter. Again, you're right, Don. I mean, when you got 6, you never know. You get that guy anywhere on the field, and it's a potential home run just waiting to happen.
It was interesting that they, are going to snap it to him in the Wildcat. Can he throw?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's got 2 catches on the year.
Do you run something left because you look like you're going right? Let's see.
He's going to run it right. Now he's going to look to throw. Now he's going to keep it on the run again. And he's going to step out of bounds with 3 seconds left.
Well done, heady play, right? You got 9 seconds. When you do something like that, you give yourself the option of maybe getting out of bounds. So, did he get out of bounds in time? That's the question.
I think the official said 3. 2. There'll be 2 left. Well, picking up that 6 yards might give you a shot of your quarterback to get it into the end zone.
Yeah, 5's coming back into the game, so let's see if they let launch. And if you're the Clark DBs, you got to keep everything in front of you.
They line up Carroll in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. And they might have picked up another 5, or if that's a penalty against Roosevelt for jumping, that could be the half. It's not a 10-second runoff, so still 2 seconds to go. Astros and Rangers, if you're wondering, all tied at 3 in the top of the 4th. Astros struck first. It was 3-0. Then the Rangers got back in it. San Antonio's own Josh Young from MacArthur with a sac fly. Here we go. It's Carroll sidestepping, going nowhere, and that's the half. It's 21-7 Roosevelt. The Rough Riders with a very impressive first quarter with the young running back. And the defense doing a good job so far, limiting the Clark offense to just 1 touchdown. Matt Roy getting Matt Carroll. It's the Mal Matt show as we send it down to the sidelines to see what Carroll thinks about his ball club here in the first half. Matt, take it away.
Yep, Matt squared down here. Coach Matt Carroll here. Coach, you basically are doing everything you guys wanted to do coming into this game. What's going right for you in this first half?
Right now, we started out doing a good job of not just killing ourselves. We've been doing that the last couple of weeks and hurting ourselves, and we're kind of avoiding doing that right now.
You guys have basically for 24 more minutes to keep your playoff hopes alive. What are you guys trying to do in the second half to make sure you win this game?
Yeah, more of the same. Even clean up what got away from us a little bit that second half and keep the penalties away at a minimum and just kind of hang on the ball and ball control.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Matt. Coming up, it's the Central Med halftime show. The Clark Band taking the field right now. We'll hear from them. David Chancellor will have our Scholar Athletes of the Week. Stick around. 21-7. The Central Med halftime show is next.
Tonight's broadcast of Thursday Night Lights is sponsored by Taco Cabana, the Gomez Law Firm, Steel North Star Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Centro Med, Enroll SA, Countywide Service Company, Dr. Drake Sleep Solutions, Christus Children's, San Antonio Sports, Valero, San Antonio Metropolitan Health District, Vietnam Army Grunt Museum, Beluga Air, Rhino Roofers, Texas Kidney Foundation, Air and Plumbing Today, Ron Hoover RV and Marine, Harlandale Independent School District, San Antonio Zoo, and Monarch Trophy Studio.
For our mighty Cougar band.
Welcome to the Centro Med Halftime Report.
Back here at Hero Stadium for the first time this year on Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Gomez Law Firm. We got a barn burner here going on. Roosevelt Rough Riders up 21-7 over the Clark Cougars. Brennan Carroll, the San Antonio Sports All-Star, has 3 touchdowns in the first half for the Rough Riders. Right now, the Clark Cougar Band is on the field. We got to speak to their band director a little bit earlier this week. Let's hear what they had to say.
My name's Justin Murphy. I'm the director of bands at Clark High School. I've been at the school here now for 12 years. The kids have been working hard and the parents have been working hard, and we've had a great year so far. The theme for the show is Dancing at the Edge of Light. We've got some great props that exhibit the ideas of that show, and the music is very high energy, features a lot of our great soloists, and it's very exciting. We have area this weekend. We'll be rolling out of here probably about 6:30 in the morning, and we find out about if we make finals in the afternoon, and then finals start that evening. I've got a great staff here with Jacob Aguado and Ben Guskowski, and Julia Hutchinson coordinates all the color guard / dancers. I've got great administration that's very supportive of what we do, and of course the students and the parents. You couldn't do it without this army of parents that come out every week and help, like I said, the moving of the band and making sure that they're fed and making sure all the equipment's unloaded and getting the equipment to the destination, and you just can't do this without that community behind it.
All right, it's time to vote for the Christian Children's $5,000 band grant to vote for the Clark High School marching bands. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit cw35.com/station/contest. You must be 18 years old and live in our viewing area.
San Antonio middle and high school athletes are doing great things for our community. San Antonio Sports and Valero are shining a light on teams and individuals who model key values through their actions. This week, we salute 2 schools whose community projects demonstrate beyond the game values. East Central High School's boys basketball team partnered with Blueprint Ministries to rebuild a disability ramp and replace roofing for 2 families in need. Veterans Memorial High School's athletics continued their annual tradition of greeting Rolling Meadows Elementary students, helping them out of their vehicles and escorting them into their classrooms. These athletes demonstrated the beyond the game values of integrity, respect, teamwork, excellence, and community service. San Antonio Sports and Valero salute high school and middle school coaches who inspire their athletes to serve others. Parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams and individuals that go beyond the game. Visit sanantoniosports.org.
Welcome to the Centro Med Halftime Report.
Well, every week on TNL, we showcase incredible student athletes. And at the end of the year, Steel North Star Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram will present a $10,000 scholarship to one of the students that we featured this season on TNL. Our David Chancellor introduces us to this week's scholar athletes from Clark and Roosevelt.
Roosevelt senior David Gonzalez is money, or in this case, gold, which is the nickname given to him by his cross-country coach.
She was telling this to my mom also, and she said, David is gold. He's so unique, he's so outgoing, and he's just a one-of-a-kind.
108 GPA, varsity soccer and cross-country all 4 years, captain of both teams too, honor society, peer mentor, and winner of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund. Oh, and he was voted homecoming king too.
I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. How do you find the time to be so involved?
I remember something that my soccer coach has said since freshman year. He said there's 24 hours in the day. There's enough hours to be put everywhere.
Impressive, right? Not as much as this. He believes your smile feeds his soul, and he lives his life by a standard that is, well, golden.
So if I can put myself out and try to be that friend that they might need, and I can see them go from a really gloomy day, or if I know their situation and they're sad or depressed or hurting about something, struggling, and they end up smiling because of me, that's incredible. That's anything. That's my, I did my part.
At Clark, Sarah Perales is on the basketball team, hoping to go back-to-back this year as in state champs.
It's really exciting, you know, it's motivating to just keep on working, keep on pushing ourselves, but I think our bond has gotten it's just a really great bond with all the girls, and I think that keeps us pushing. It keeps us even more excited to just see what we can accomplish this year.
She also tried water polo for the first time ever and loved it, even if it sounds exhausting.
Like, do you go to practice and tread water for 2 hours?
Basically, you can't touch the bottom ever, so you're treading water the whole time. You're wrestling people for positioning the whole time. It's intense, but it's a lot of fun.
She's full of talent, even with a pair of drumsticks.
Do you have a favorite drummer, favorite band?
Probably Neil Peart from Rush.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Your dad's been schooling you.
Yes, that's his favorite band, so I grew up listening to them.
4.0, Student Council, Honor Society. Her resume is near perfection. Coaches and teammates say her real gift is leadership.
It makes me really happy that people think of me like that. I'm very grateful for the people that I have around me that make it easy to lead by example. And it makes me feel proud of myself because I know that I'm putting in the work every day. So, you know, it makes me feel really good.
You're watching the Centro Med Halftime Report.
Welcome back here to Hero Stadium. It is 21-7. Rough Riders are out in front by 2 touchdowns. They need this win to stay in playoff contention in a very tough district that they have with Clark and Reagan and Johnson, Brandeis, all those tough teams in this northeast side. Right now, the Roosevelt Marching Band is on the field. They're preparing for their UIL area competition this weekend in Round Rock. We caught up with their band director to find out more about this year's band a little earlier this week. Take a listen.
My name is Sterling Snyder. I'm the director of bands for Roosevelt High School. This is my 11th year with the program. My first year as the head director. We're very young. I think we have something like 65 sophomores and a few freshmen, and we only have maybe 30 total juniors and seniors. So the majority of our band is all underclassmen. We have our 2 assistant directors, Patrick Bowman, who's our percussion director, and then George Salinas, who's new this year as our assistant director. We also have our color guard director, who's been doing a great job, Lillian Wynn, and she's taken over, just started this year with the guard, and they've come a long way since she's gotten here. So. Our show this year is called Day in New Orleans, and it starts off with the House of the Rising Sun, goes into a Battle of New Orleans, and an original piece called TR Parade Blues, and then it finishes off with a Royal Garden Blues. It's just kind of, it's supposed to kind of depict like a day in New Orleans. It starts off with kind of the sun coming up and the whole House of the Rising Sun, goes into like a midday type of parade type feel, and then it ends with a kind of like a jazzy just type of nighttime New Orleans type feel. We got our sweepstakes, our ones at UIL this weekend. We're advancing on to area next weekend. So this Saturday we're going to area.
To vote for the Roosevelt High School Marching Band, scan the QR code on your screen or visit cw35.com/station/contest. You must be 18 years old and live in our viewing area. Thanks again to Christus Children's for sponsoring this year's $5,000 band grant.
You're watching the Centro Med Halftime Report.
Welcome back to the Central Med Halftime Show. Roosevelt leads Clark 21-7. The Cougs, Armand Gardner scored the Clark touchdown in the first quarter. Nice little diving action to the cone to get to the pylon to score. But Chuck, the first half belonged to the guy we talked about pregame, Brennan Carroll, showing off his strength, his physicality, and his speed with 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving one on that wheel route. It was really nice design.
Yeah, I mean, he's showing a little bit of everything here, Swiss Army knife style. Bully ball for the first one, huge crease on the second one, and then probably our favorite play of the night, just the design. It looks like it's going left. Nope, it's going to the right, and it's going for 6. Brennan Carroll, his quarterback's been really hot. Marcajani, only 1 incomplete in the first half, and right now, Roosevelt is enjoying a 2-score lead here at the break.
And here's why. They lead the total yardage 275 to 134. They've doubled Clark with first downs with 14. And Coach Carroll said they do want to clean up the penalties in the first half. So when we come back, we'll have the second half kickoff. Clark will get it first in the third quarter as halftime continues here at Heroes Stadium. We'll kick off third quarter action when we return.
You're watching Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Gomez Law Firm.
It's 21-7 here at Heroes Stadium on Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights. We're putting a bow on the Central Med halftime show as the Roosevelt Rough Rider Band finishes their performance. Clark Cougars about to run back onto the field, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Let's go down to Matt Roy on the sidelines, who talked with J.L. Geis, the head man there at Clark.
Yeah, guys, right in the middle of their performance right now, but I did end up getting over there to talk to Coach Geis, and he said the best thing about his team is that they play together. They play as one unit in that first half. They missed some assignments. They allowed the Rough Riders to really pretty much run all over them. What he needs to see is them play for the playoffs. They have one game after this. One game for these seniors after this one to play in high school sometime. So he wants to see effort, he wants to see fight, and he wants to see one play at a time to get back into this game, guys.
All right. We've had some good ones this year on TNL where teams in this position have come back to win it. We've had some fantastic finishes. These are two very good football teams in a crowded District 28 6A. If you're just joining us late, this is basically a winner-go-home game for Roosevelt. Very important game for Clark in the standings. They could pretty much seal their playoff fate with a win, but if they lose tonight and maybe next week, you never know what could happen. So they feel confident they can make the playoffs, winning one of their last two. But it's interesting, Chuck, 3 through 8, anything could still happen.
Well, these are two of the teams that have earned the right to be in these big ball games, right? I mean, I think we said it at the beginning that at the start of the season, maybe we weren't thinking of these two teams as playoff caliber teams, but as this season has gone along, every team in their league knows you are going to get this team's best punch every time they go out. Just so happens they're on the field tonight, so a lot to play for both of these teams, and we've seen it so far. You know, I think that's what's fascinating about Clark's sojourn through the season is I think they learned how good they could be by hanging with Reagan for 3 quarters, and then that game got a little squirrely there towards the end of the ball game, but, you know, then they had a little bit of a letdown against Johnson, but they've got to bring it every single night. They know that, and, you know, things didn't go their way in the first half, but still plenty of time to make this a football game again. Just down 21-7 here as we start the third quarter.
They get it first here in the third. Brian Watts back in the truck, mark the tape. What Chuck said, sojourn, to go along with gaggle from earlier this season. Mr. Vocabulary, making me look bad.
Just don't ask me to spell it.
This one's thrown out in the flat, diving forward for a short gain. Elisha Johnson, the freshman, thought that was going to pop that for a big game, but it looked like he just kind of overran his feet and got a turf monster there.
Right? That's what happens when you're so fast. Sometimes
too fast for his own good.
That's right. Things got to catch up to each other. But you can see why Clark will want to get him the football. I mean, he's electric.
2nd and 4. Double stacked both sides. They fire right. They find him again. He's got a San Antonio Zoo first down. Steps out of bounds. That stops the clock. And you can tell he doesn't run like a freshman. He's very athletic and polished even at a young age. Speaking of freshmen, Chuck, I saw a Roosevelt kid I spoke with pregame, a 14-year-old on the freshman team. 6'6", 275 pounds with a size 15 shoe, and he's 14 years old. We'll be looking out for him in a couple of years.
Right.
The San Antonio Zoo first down as they run a Montre Hodges right up the middle. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Nothing wrong with, you know, letting them earn their way up, right? I mean, Coach Carroll kind of did that with his quarterback, and it's working out really great right now. Mark Ajani having a great evening, just a junior, and Philip Metzger having a nice evening too, but really wants to get his offense on track here in the third quarter.
Roosevelt shows blitz. They pressure up the middle. That ball's tipped. Bullying his way through was Adrian Alvarado, the nose guard, who was right in the face of Metzger as he released that. As we take a look at our Dr. Drake Sleep Solutions smile cam. The Roosevelt Rough Riders with lots to smile about, up by 2 scores.
Once again for Clark, it's another time you see they're really attacking with their offense. They've got guys open. They just got to make some completions here to keep these drives alive. Great start to the ball game. They went right down the field and scored, but it's been rough sledding ever since. Tip of the cap to the Roosevelt defense.
Metzger fires over the middle again, and again it's tipped and batted down, that time by Josiah Ali, the all-everything defensive tackle.
Yeah, Josiah showing off his ball batting skills on this one. Gets one of those big paws up, knocks it away, but this dude.
So athletic for his size,
man.
man.
He's squatting 650. I mean, the whole package.
So it's 4th down and 6. Last time they had similar position, they had Metzger do a quick kick, see if he drops back. Down 2 scores, they're going to just go for it here. He wants to throw, throws an out route, and it's completed. A clutch 4th down conversion to the freshman who went up and made a tough catch.
Well, you're not kidding. And what a great pass by Metzger, too. I mean, and really trusting his freshman to go make a play. I mean, he's getting heat. And then the freshman standing up and making a play.
Tough
really
catch,
nice.
Good coverage there on the back end by Roosevelt. Peter Ramirez on the coverage, but nice catch by Elisha instead. This little screen goes nowhere. Maybe a loss on the play.
Jeez, was Josiah out there too? Making a play out there on the wide receivers? He dinged himself a little bit on that play.
Holding his shoulder a little bit. Walking gingerly back to the line of scrimmage.
It's pretty impressive for a DE to get out there as quickly as he did.
We'll call it 2nd down and 9 as they swing 3 to the right-hand side. Metzger rolls right. Got a lot of coverage over there. Doesn't have a lot of anybody open, so he fires it out of bounds. And again, the Roosevelt secondary doing a really good job running zone, and there's nowhere to throw it as he's looking for receivers a lot of times. So it's 3rd down and 9. 2 down territory as they've already proven they are not shy going for it here, down 2 touchdowns.
Josiah trying to stretch out that shoulder right now. Seems to be giving him a little trouble.
Same type of formation, rolling right. Got a man open this time, fires underneath, and it's caught. And dancing out of bounds is the freshman Elisha Johnson, and he picks up that San Antonio Zoo 1st down on a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, wide open, and then gets out of bounds as the Roosevelt DBs were barreling in on him.
Found a spot there with no coverage, and a new set of downs for Metzger. Hands off inside. Good 5-yard gain on the play by Amontre Hodges. So Clark getting back to what they did early in the first quarter. Just kind of matriculating down the field, methodically converting a 4th down and about 7, and now a 3rd down and 9, and getting some rhythm to this offense for Metzger.
Yeah, they just really like, obviously, having the ball in Metzger's hands, let him direct, see where he can go with the football, and he's been spreading it out really nice here on this drive.
Looks right again, now goes deep. That ball's caught and dropped right at the goal line. Ethan Maldonado found a seam, and Metzger put it right on him. It's one of our Texas Kidney Foundation player profiles. Maldonado does 5'7", 140, but he's lightning quick, runs track. He's in the orchestra and also on the student council. Bright young man, 2-year letterman on the leadership council, and he's an academic performer as well.
Looks like another guy that's got the nice quaff going back there. Very well done.
Not to mention gray hair. Metzger rolling left, looking over the middle, caught. It's the freshman again. Huge gain for wide receiver Elisha Johnson. Had 15 catches coming into the night for 200 yards. And already tonight he's got 7 more for 59 yards.
Yeah, he's really showing out. I mean, just the ability to come back for the football. Very, very heady. Didn't wait for the ball to come to him. And because he did come back to the ball, had the DBs on their heels a little bit, and he was able to turn it up and get a few extra.
So it's a San Antonio Zoo 1st down. The Cougars on the move inside the Central Med red zone. Ball's at the 16. Metzger looking left. Got a guy over there, and that's picked off. Jumping the route brilliantly for the Roosevelt Rough Riders was Ivan Gaines. He was huge early in the game, and now he comes up with one of the biggest plays of the night.
Indeed it was. Clark going right down the field, unabated until Ivan Gaines, we've called his name several times tonight, making plays all over the place, none bigger than that one.
Roosevelt football when we come back. Bottom 5. Jeez.
Plenty of time. Man, none of these pitchers are getting any calls tonight, are they? For quality pitches.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by the Vietnam Army Grunt Museum.
Here's Britton Carroll on first down, trying to get to the edge. He does. And a nice gain on the play before being run out of bounds.
Now, there's no substitute for 4.5 speed, right? Get to the edge, and man, you put a lot of guys on an island there. Really tough to make a play once this guy gets a head of steam going.
Picks up a San Antonio Zoo first down, 7-17. Here to play in the third quarter. Roosevelt up 21-7. It's, as I said, a San Antonio Zoo first down for Carroll and the Riders. The young man has lived up to the hype tonight.
As he does most every night. Again, we talked about this at the beginning as well. To think that this guy had 1,000-yard rushing in a 4-game stretch. I mean, that is getting it done. I mean, how nice is that if you're a football team and you can just ride your horse on your way to a bunch of big ball games?
Had 220 and 2 touchdowns against Del Rio, 207 and 3 against Lee, and 272 yards and 4 touchdowns against your Madison Mavericks. Little run of jet sweep reverse to this side is Zaylen Davis-Shears as he goes ahead to about the 39-yard line. Will be third down at about 4.
And here's another guy we highlighted at the top, Luke Gertz, coming through, making a nice play there for his squad. Where did he come from? Look at that. Just finding his way, finding a seam there and sticking his nose in and getting a little dirty.
Remember, his big brother Chris was one heck of a football player for the Cougs. Had him a couple years on those Gucci Bowls when we were on TNL. Quarterback will keep it, spinning, still on his feet. It's Carroll in the Wildcat, and oh my goodness, every play could be popped for 6 when this kid has the football.
And almost close to being a horse collar, but heck, you got to get this guy down any way you can.
Yep, they could have called it. Didn't. You know, I was talking to this young man pregame on the sideline, and it's amazing standing next to him just how undersized he is. He doesn't wow you with his size at all, because usually when you're 5'7" and you're a short runner, you're really stocky. And I've seen some of those, over the course of doing this. But he's slight of frame, but he's so strong despite that. And when he gets to the next level, he's going to put on 15, 20 like his big brother did. And can't imagine how effective he'll be at the next level at Rio Grande Valley with his quickness and speed.
Yeah, we saw Drake Sharples of Clark making a really nice play there on defense for the Cougs, but you're right, his balance, his ability to bounce, and his vision, all check, check, check. You're right down the list.
Here's Marka Johnny. Give it to Zaylin Davis-Shears. Pretty much the only two guys to carry the football tonight is Carroll's got 23 carries. Shears has 7. So on their 30 carries, they've only handed it to those two. And Shears is really a wide receiver. But when Carroll takes a break and they have to run, they feel pretty confident putting it in his hands.
Yeah, and this is death by 1,000 cuts for the Cougs. The Roosevelt boys are just going out there and taking it to them up front and slow killing this clock along the way.
They'll throw it here, and that ball's incomplete. Intended for Davis-Shears.
Tried to okey-doke him. They've had a couple of nice plays like that, right? You get so zeroed in on trying to stop the run, and that's what you got to do if you're Clark. And then they try to hit you over the top, and that's just the second incomplete of the ball game for the Roosevelt quarterback.
So Roosevelt with a short field here on 4th and 9 will try to kill it inside the 20-yard line. A little soft little punt that's going to bounce at the 15. They rolled one down there earlier. And again, they just can't corral it. It'll be a touchback, and it'll come out to the 20, and we'll come back with Clark in possession of the football with 3:45 to play when we come back.
You're watching Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Gomez Law Firm.
First down and 10 for Philip Metzger and Clark. And a little miscommunication there with Ford as he fires incomplete. Again, good pressure by the Roosevelt front four. They've been in his face on most throws tonight.
Yeah, Keenan Giles, this time the senior stepping up and getting through. There have been a lot of guys on this Roosevelt defense up front that have kind of shifted their way through to the backfield and put some duress on the quarterback of the Clark Cougars, Philip Metzger.
Second down and 10, ball still at the 20-yard line. Metzger fires into the flat, completes it. And it'll be a San Antonio Zoo first down. Good throw, got it quickly out there to Christian Strickland for the completion, and he's a little sore getting up. Nice athletic play to reach out and get the San Antonio Zoo first down.
Yeah, and hats off to the Clark defense, too. I mean, as much as we've talked about Brennan Carroll tonight, and aptly so, I mean, they've done a good job of getting off the field here ever since about the first quarter.
Another good throw. This time completed to Ford across the 50. Metzger's getting out of his hands quickly. Lawrence Ford, the senior, makes the play. Whistle blows. I think whistle was for an injured player, but he got up quickly.
Yeah, Metzger under duress again. Back foot, throws a BB to Ford. He's had a nice game. I mean, this is a good-looking ball player right here, right? I mean, big, he's fast, athletic, he's got good hands.
He's got good receivers. He's got young receivers, too. Elisha Johnson, the freshman, has 7 catches, and this Ford is a senior, but a long, tall target. And Metzger's impressive, the quickness of his release. Hands it this time. Roosevelt bring down the runner at the 40-yard line against close to another San Antonio Zoo first down. I think it'll be second and short as they handed to Gardner that time. He's the young man that made the nice play for the touchdown early on.
Yeah, it was a really good job. Nice cutback to get himself some running room. Needed one more block, might have been able to get a couple of more yards out of it.
Second down, less than a yard. Gardner lines up next to Metzger. They hand to him, and Roosevelt snuffed it out. They smelled it coming. And coming in off the right side on the blitz was Demarion Miller, the senior linebacker. He was all-district first team last year as a junior, and he knew exactly what was coming, and he made a physical play.
Yeah, saw it all the way. Roosevelt dialing up the run blitz, sending 23 from the outside, and he did not whiff when he got his opportunity. Great tackle.
A beluga collision, or whale of a collision nominee. Metzger with another BB. Completed to Ethan Maldonado. That'll move the chains for San Antonio Zoo first down.
They talk about a tight window, huh?
Tight window and just a fastball right into that window.
Clark doing a really good job in the second half of moving the football, but can they cash it in? They've had a couple of huge miscues, and it's essentially the difference in the ball game right now.
It's a San Antonio Zoo first down. Metzger sends his man in motion. Looks left, double pass here. Ford going deep into double coverage. He hungs it up there, and it's incomplete. Had his man, Michael Davila, but that ball hung in the air for an hour. And it gave the Roosevelt defenders time to get down there, and when it hit Davila's hands, they were able to knock it out of him.
Yeah, even with that, they still almost made the completion down there at the other end. Who was it that got a little chicken wing
Christian
in there?
Salazar.
It sure was.
Stuck his hand in there to break it up. Good play call, though. Second down and 10. Metzger pressured again, fires. That ball's picked off. Again, it's Ivan Gaines. He's bringing it back, his second of the game in the red zone. Ivan Gaines. Flag down on the far sideline.
Again, it's the pressure up front that's causing the quarterback to throw off his back foot.
All the action was on the near side. The flag's on the far side. All right, so the interception stands. It's Roosevelt football, but they'll back it up 15 from where he was tackled. for an unsportsmanlike taunting call on Christian Salazar.
Here it is. Who was getting the heat? Well, 58 was coming with some intentions. That was Adrian Alvarado. And when the throws get made before they're supposed to, sometimes good things can happen for your defense on the back end.
Here's Carroll. Nowhere to go this time. The Clark defense had every angle of that one covered. And now the clock is the Riders' best friend, and there's absolutely no reason to snap this one before the end of the third quarter. Brandon Carroll knows that. His dad's saying, look, we're just waiting, just chill. Just gonna let this thing run out. It'll be the end of the third quarter. We'll switch ends. Roosevelt will have it, and they will try to run this clock as much as possible on this drive too. Up by 2 touchdowns, 21-7. We're through three as we step aside.
You're watching Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Gomez Law Firm.
The Roosevelt Rough Riders have the football back as they run Brennan Carroll straight ahead on 2nd down and 8. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 after that gain up the middle. Roosevelt up 2 touchdowns as we take a look at our third quarter highlights. And after going out to a 21-7 lead, it was their defense, Chuck, and particularly Ivan Gaines, saving the day a couple of times.
He sure has. You know, we talked about him a lot. He was making plays all over the field, and then all of a sudden he starts turning the other team over, not once but twice.
2 picks for the young man in the third quarter as Carroll keeps on the Wildcat, and he picks up a countywide service company first down here in the fourth quarter. As we take a look at the third quarter stats, Roosevelt dominating the rushing yardage, mostly of that from Carroll, who has 173 yards on 23 carries. Clark winning the air battle, but they've come closer on the first downs after being dominated.
I wonder what the time of possession is in this football game. It seems like Roosevelt's had it almost the entire evening.
It's countywide service company first down. Here's Carroll again. Look at the sidestep. Picks up about 2 as we go down to Matt on the sidelines.
All right, well, guys, if you have seen this running around after each Roosevelt touchdown, it has a nice little backstory. We have a couple of the Roosevelt students here. What was your name?
Ayana Hamilton of the Rough Rider Battalion, S6 assistant.
That's a heck of a title, first of all. Second of all, what's up with the big stick? Why do we do this after touchdown?
So, guys, y'all know who Teddy Roosevelt is?
Yeah, he's right
and
there.
y'all, here, let me hand this off to him. And y'all know the saying, carry a big stick? That's what this is about, y'all. We carry a big stick because we're the Rough Rider Battalion.
All right.
Yeah.
We got to bench it first. Who's doing it? Who's benching the stick? We got military press. What are we doing? All right, we're benching the stick. Let's go. Yep, lay down. Let's do it. All right, let's do 10. Come on.
Ready?
1. Go 2. All right, we're going 2. Good job. All right, guys, back up to you.
That's good stuff. That stick has been around a long time, Chuck. That was around when we were there 40 years ago.
Yeah, walk softly or carry a big stick.
That's right. Teddy Roosevelt.
I was going to say, don't know much about his story.
You know, he gave us the national parks, gave us Yosemite, Teddy Roosevelt.
And I had the chance to see that a few years ago with my own 2 eyes. Not to be missed if you get the opportunity.
I think Carroll's going to throw it. He's throwing a great spiral down there and just broken up. But how about the arm on that kid? Well, he can do it all.
He threw it almost 50 yards in the air.
I mean, it was a pretty tight spiral, too, from my view.
Yeah, let's take a look. Threw it from about the 27.
Right,
I love these play designs, right? This is some fun. We'll just see if one of these can connect at some point.
On further review, it should have been caught. Hit him right in the chest. Third and 13. Roosevelt was penalized while we were benching the big stick. So that marked them back, and that's why they're 3rd and 13. They handed on the draw. Carroll putting his foot in the ground a couple of times, and man, he's close enough. Well, there's a flag down, so we'll see. He's close enough to go for if this penalty is not on Roosevelt, but it's usually a hold. Okay, so it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. As we take a look at our Monarch trophies, 344-3777 or MTSawards.com. We'll hand those out at the end of the game. Our thanks to Monarch Trophy for being a big part of TNL for all these many years. For all your business needs, plaques, trophies, Little League teams, they got it. You name it, they got it.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Roosevelt because that hold was well away from where the action was with the football.
So 3rd and 17. They ran Carroll on the draw last time. And now they have a false start, and that's going to just drive Matt Carroll crazy. He was upset about the pre-snap penalties going into the half. Just a little bit out of rhythm here offensively the second half.
Yeah, it's one of those things as a head coach, right? Do you keep attacking on offense, or are you really more worried about the clock when you're up 2 touchdowns? So, sometimes teams have to learn how to handle the lead as well. And yeah, just a little bit off here with the synchronicity in the second half.
Let's throw that ball up high into double coverage. It would have been as good as a punt if picked off. Instead, they'll have to run out C.J. McLaren to punt this one away. And Clark has life here. 8:25 to go. They're going to have the ball with some really good field position, as Roosevelt won't be able to flip the field unless something miraculous happens off the foot of C.J. McLaren.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see them come after this punt, too.
Low shortstop fielded punt. Blocked! Was it blocked and went right back at him? Clark has the football in business.
Low snap and then
Oh,
Yeah.
it's 75, and he caught it.
Catching a line drive. Well done. That's how you feel to punt.
Kicked it right to him. He was able to catch it. It was either kill or be killed by that football for Big 75. He caught it, made a heck of a play. That's Joaquin Martinez.
That might be the play of the night. And that thing was not coming at him slow, I can assure you that.
So here's Clark down 2 scores, maybe just 1 after this play.
Oh, what a
touchdown, Cougars.
Foot in the ground.
Armin Gardner with the cut and the score, and momentum switches quickly here at Heroes Stadium.
We talk about playing complimentary football, right? Your special teams just bails you out, makes a nice play, and then what do you do on the first one from scrimmage? Look at this cut, Don. Wow. And then sticking his nose into defenders and carrying it home for 6.
High snap, hold is good, kick is up, and kick is good, and we've got a 1-score game with 8:12 to go. Roosevelt will have it when we come back. We're back. It's 21-14. Both teams could probably point to lots of mistakes. But after the 2 interceptions by Roosevelt's defense that Clark is kicking themselves over, now the Rough Riders kicking themselves over penalties and a botched special teams play. This ball's taken and dropped inside the 35, and we're back in 15 seconds.
Do you know a San Antonio teen in 7th to 12th grade looking for ways to get involved in the community? They can apply to be a Project Worth Teen Ambassador today. For more information, visit our website or call 210-207-8850.
21-14. Roosevelt has it, and a countywide service company first down.
Game on. Looks like we got another thriller brewing here on Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights.
Here's Carroll bouncing it to the outside. Now cuts it up. Good tackle by the Clark safety, Kevin Ramon, but not before Carroll picks up a countywide service company first down. You can just see how explosive he is.
He really is, but I like what you said about Ramon. I mean, look, he's being held up there by the defense. I'm sorry, by the guy trying to block him, and he shed it and made a tackle against a guy that's not easy to bring down.
Roosevelt trying to avoid penalties and shooting themselves in the foot here in the 4th quarter. Fire the flat, that's dropped.
Yeah, just a little out of sync here, right? I mean, they ran that offense to perfection. in the first half. And it was really all you can eat. They went right down the field, scored on their first 3 possessions, and Clark has kind of settled in, but Roosevelt just not quite playing as well as they had early on in this football game on offense. Just missing a tick.
Yeah, the penalties are what killing them. 8 for 60. That's not going to make Matt Carroll happy as they run it inside on 2nd down and 10. Pick up maybe 2. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
This Clark defense, though, has kind of made it difficult for Roosevelt, too. Let's give credit where credit is due. I mean, here, Roosevelt is on 3rd and long again. This Clark defense really has elevated its level of play after that first quarter.
Big play here. Rolling right, and that ball's intercepted. Marcagiani threw it right into the teeth of that zone, and sitting there waiting for it was the defensive back of the Clark Cougars, and that was Caleb Hernandez.
And he got the Rudy treatment afterwards. Nice play. Trying to throw it, never saw 21 in the middle of the field there. And what a great play to go across his body, extend his hands out, and pull that ball in to give the ball back to Clark. That's Roosevelt's first turnover of the night.
Clark can now tie this game up with a score. They run it on 1st down. They pick up 3 or 4.
28-6-8, bro. You just never know, right?
Back and forth, and I think both teams pointing to mistakes. Good play by the defense. All 3 of those interceptions, good plays by the D. Second down, 7. Throw it in the face. Is that the 3rd pick? It is. This time, it's Christian Salazar. I thought it was Gaines' 3rd pick of the night. He was over there too. But this time it's Salazar who comes up with the Oski.
And they all look similar on the turnovers for Clark, right? You've got pressure straight up the middle. Check it out. And it's just so hard when the pressure's coming right in your face if you're the quarterback. Repeatedly, Roosevelt and their rush guys are doing a great job of getting in the face of the Clark quarterback. This time it's Christian Salazar's turn to turn over the Clark Cougars.
And it was Trayshawn Henry with the pressure that time, a 3-year starter off the edge. And you're right, Chuck, he was right there in his grill when he let it go. This one all defense in the second half.
Man, you're not kidding. I mean, it's just unbelievable what these teams have been able to do on the defensive side of the ball, especially when it comes to the turnover department. And, you know, talk about big plays, right? You got 2 humongous plays in this football game, not turned in by the offense, but by the defense, with this final score hanging in the balance.
Here's Carroll in a wildcat. Keeps it himself right up the middle. Was a step away from breaking it. Still got the Countywide Service Company first down, but one more step and he was gone.
Again, they've had so many big runs right up the gut. Brennan Carroll just hits those holes. It's, you may as well say see you later on most of them.
And twice tonight, Kevin Ramon has been the only thing between Carroll and a 70-yard score. Here's Carroll again on first down, right up the middle for 2, maybe 3. I love how he seeks the A-gap. He may have pulled something here. He's fine.
Yeah, downhill runner, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you think of. And really, when he gets in the open field, it's like he's looking to make a guy miss, but if he's got to take on somebody one-on-one, more than likely he's still going to be falling forward.
He'll beat you to the sidelines if he has to, but he'd rather go north and south. Marcajani, Davis Shears, and Clark was there to read it and snuff it out. Now Clark, I think, is going to burn a timeout, save some clock here with 3:50. We'll take it with him. Roosevelt's going to have a big 3rd down and 8 when we come back, up a touchdown. Under 4 minutes to play. Another fantastic finish coming your way on TNL. Third down and 8 for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. They protect a 1-touchdown lead, and they're on their own 41-yard line. So is it 2 down? I don't know. Did they punt it away after what just happened? They run the inside.
What a play.
Handoff, great call. Down inside the 40-yard line for a countywide service. First down is Davis Shears. Brilliant call with all eyes on Carroll.
Yeah, quarterback spinning like a top. You don't know where he's going to go with it. Left, right, ends up going right, and 14 ends up with the football because everybody's looking for 6. Gutsy call, but what a call. Obviously, Clark not looking for any of that.
You can't help but take your eyes, be looking for Brennan Carroll. Instead, they go the other way to Davis Shears. Just really good from Nick Smizik. Here's Carroll stumbling now. He breaks it. Now Carroll to the outside. Carroll's going to score. Touchdown, Roosevelt. The Riders may have just put it away. His 4th of the night.
These games come down to 1 or 2 plays made late, right? I mean, a key first down pickup on a really nice play design, and then Clark maybe hanging their heads just long enough for 6 to get some space, and another 6.
Man, he is really fun to watch. It's 27-14. High snap, good hold. And after that horrific experience punting the football, C.J. McLaren knocks it through. It's 28-14 with 3:31 to go here on Thursday Night Lights.
It's a pitch to Winthy. He's going to have that easily. He wants a lot more. In fact, Winthy's going to score, running over a defender at the goal line. Yes. Eric Winthy is off to the house again.
Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Congratulations.
Wow, Roosevelt trying to get some trickery there, huh?
They've been kicking it short all night, but that was a little extra onside action.
Good job by Clark to maintain possession here. They're going to have to score and score quickly.
3:29 to go. The Cougars had all the momentum, but had their third interception of the night by that Roosevelt secondary. Ivan Gaines has had 2. Salazar got the last one, and then one of the most electrifying players we've ever seen on TNL, Brennan Carroll, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 1 through the air. Just an all-time performance. Metzger under trouble. He's going to sling it with his left hand. That's an incomplete forward pass with the left hand, and I'm shocked that they didn't throw an intentional grounding flag.
Well, you can throw it with your left hand. There was a guy over there, so that was just a great play by Philip Metzger.
Okay, I guess you could say there was a receiver in the area.
I'll tell you what, man, Roosevelt, they are bringing the noise and bringing the pain right now. Damian Miller, once again, coming from the edge, went right through the guy that was trying to chip him. And they are really bringing the heat on Philip Metzger on these long passing plays.
Metzger rolling left, throwing that way, and as bounces off his receiver's hands and out of bounds. Good coverage by Salazar over there again.
Yeah, that was one of the keys to the game, Don, that we did not talk about. That's why Clark really wanted to stay on track, stay ahead of the chains, because if you get in long and down in distance against these Rough Riders, they are going to bring it. And they really have done a nice job. I mean, this is a pretty explosive Clark offense that they're hanging 14 on right now.
They beat Churchill last week 28-7. They put up over 30 points 3 times this year. And now we have a whistle.
Man, that's
and a timeout.
Elite mouthpiece right there. Bring in the fangs.
We're back in 15 seconds.
Hey San Antonio teens! Are you looking for ways to share your voice, creativity, and ideas on ways to positively impact the community? Become a Project Worth Teen Ambassador. For more information, visit our website or call 210-207-8850.
We're down to the final 3 minutes and 9 seconds here at Heroes Stadium. By the way, just a gorgeous setting for football. Good to get over here at least once a year. You got Toyota Field and Morgan's Wonderland and new MAC, the Multi-Assistance Center that houses multiple agencies who help those with special needs. And it's just a gorgeous part of town now with Hero Stadium, Toyota Field, Morgan's, the sports park, the water park, and the MAC. I don't get over here often enough, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, and big shout out to whoever thought Wurzbach Parkway would be a good idea. I love it.
That's
Nice.
true, man. Just zip right over. Clark down to their final play here, 4th down. Metzger looking right, pressured again, throws, and incomplete. And right off of the hands of his intended receiver, Ethan Maldonado, and that's the second one that Maldonado really is kicking himself over that he thought he should have had. Good coverage over there by Salazar again.
Yeah, these DBs have had a really fantastic ball game, right? I mean, not just the DBs. I mean, everybody involved on this Roosevelt defense. They've really made a nice accounting for themselves this evening.
Roosevelt honored a lot of their scholars at halftime. That was cool to see. All of the young people get recognized for their outstanding work in the classroom. Dr. Drake's sleep apnea, sleep solutions smile cam All those mamas and daddies that were smiling. Double pass here, going deep. Receiver's not even, dropped at the 2. Oh, that was another brilliant play designed by Nick Smizik.
I really like this kind of stuff, don't you? I mean, we have seen some really nifty plays from both of these teams tonight. Look at what Roosevelt's got for you late in a football game.
Don't leave without the football, young man.
It's one of those two, you know, sometimes you get out here under the lights and the ball hangs up long enough. It's sometimes a little hard to see it.
Instead, they'll go to Carroll. He'll bounce it forward for 4. Clark might have to try to stop the clock again. Do it everything they can. Still need it 2 times with 2:45 to go. Unlikely, but anything can happen. Saw how quickly the momentum changed on that punt. Here's Nick Smizik, young man with the beard. You might remember that face if it didn't have mustache and beard. He was only 12 years old when he was the second baseman for those McAllister Park All-Stars. And grew up to be quite the high school football player himself. San Antonio Sports All-Star at Churchill, running back. Had to quit the game of football after multiple concussions, but loved the game just like his dad and went into coaching. And I'll tell you what, he's had a couple, the wheel route call tonight, the big play where everybody was keying on Carroll on the pitch to the left and they ran it inside to 14 up the middle on a big 3rd and 9. That call right there, very inventive. You could teach Mike McCarthy a thing or two about some creativity. They run it inside Davis Shears.
You know what's fascinating about that, Don? I saw something today. The Sports Daily crunched the numbers, and offensive numbers around the league are down. Like across the board, running it, throwing it, touchdowns, red zones, you name it. So
NFL?
Yeah. So, you know, it ain't just McCarthy and the Cowboys, it doesn't seem like right now.
I don't know. He's got a lot of explaining to me on that 8 seconds with the end of the first half. It kept me up at night. Why don't you take a shot?
Right? Yeah,
even Jerry on his radio show questioned his head coach. Certainly. Wish we would have taken a shot there. Haven't spoke to Mike about it.
Well,
they won.
They did.
They won.
That's what I was saying. We got to save some of the hate for when they lose. But Roosevelt, right back in the thick of this race, right? We talked about it tonight. They've got 3 games left. They trailed Clark by 1 game in the loss column, and now both of these teams are going to have 4 league losses. So things are getting mighty interesting down the home stretch. And now, because
they'll be tied with the head-to-head.
Right.
But it's not going to matter, I think, because what's going to happen is you're going to get one of those 4-way who beat who by positive points things. Right?
Oh yeah, it's going to get a little prickly down here the last couple of weeks.
4th and 9, and they're going to go for it. They're going to complete it, do a little hook and ladder. They get it to Carroll, but he didn't get nearly the yardage, and worse than that. Oh, he did not get out of bounds. They're going to run the clock. No, they stopped it at 2:38.
Yeah, I got the change of possession.
Yeah, so it's going to stop anyway.
So Clark's still with some life, right? If you get a big play here some way, somehow.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
Roger Staubach will pull this game out. I wouldn't even be worried.
Right. That's right. 2:35. I got this in 2:25.
But against this secondary, it's been difficult because Salazar and company have been very good. Gaines has 2 interceptions. Ali with the sack. The pressure has been immense from big number 35 in these Rough Riders.
Let's see what he did. Just split the double team and get you a sack.
Just ran right through two guys.
Wow, he is a handful. He's got a second job as a weatherman if he wants it, I can tell you that.
Second down and 15. Metzger hit as he throws, and that's incomplete. So tell me more, what did he say on this weathercast?
He talked about, I'm a cold weather guy. I was born in the winter months, so he was looking for a little help on the cold front. So he managed to pivot very well and make it his own.
Well, here's our Texas Kidney Foundation player profile, Christian Carmona, trying to block him tonight. Track and field student, outstanding student in the classroom. Second down and we'll call it 3rd and 16. Pressured, running for his life again. And being forced out of bounds is Metzger. And again, is just waves of Rough Riders coming at him.
Yeah, I mean, they're all getting through now. And, boy, it's really not fair, right? When big defensive linemen and can run as fast as anybody on the field. I mean, they are really, really taking over this football game. It's been something really special to see. I mean, you talk about, Clark coming out and scoring a touchdown on their first drive. It looked like it was going to be all you could eat for those guys, but nope, it has not been the case.
Trayshawn Henry with good pressure. 4th down and long. And this ball is incomplete. So Roosevelt will have the football. Now, in normal circumstances, we would say with no timeouts, it's victory formation, you get out of here. No. 21 points could come into play in the tiebreaker situation in a 3 or 4 team tie. J.L. Geis was talking about that pregame. They beat Churchill 28-7. It's a 21-point margin. If they end up in a 3 or 4 way tiebreaker, it goes to positive points. So don't be critical of Carroll if it looks like he's trying to run the score up here. If his Rough Riders decide to try and get points here, because it would matter in a tiebreak situation. And they're doing just that, throwing it at double coverage and incomplete.
It just goes to show you 28-6A, like this is what you have to do because you never know. And these wins are precious, right? I mean, you can see it. You got the win, yes, you're right back in the hunt, but now you've got to start thinking 5-level chess here.
Yeah.
What might we need? Why didn't we do this at the end of that game? And you owe it to your kids to keep fighting and trying to punch this up as much as you can.
Yep. That 21-point margin could come back and go against them if Clark beat Churchill by 21 and they only win this one by 14. So they run that wheel route again, and he just missed him again. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Well, nothing wrong with going back to that play as well as the first time it worked.
They had plenty of time to run Carroll a few times too and use their own timeouts. But they decide to throw on 1st and 2nd down. Be interesting to see what they decide to do here, and what they do on 4th down as well, because they've still got 2 downs left if they so choose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that little trap run that they've done has really worked nice for them, but they're not having any of it, man. They're stacking everybody up high.
It's Wildcat here with 4 wide for Carroll, who's going to fake it and then run it to the left. He gets the seam, but doesn't get what he wanted in the crease. And now they'll burn one of their own. Timeouts left to stop the clock. It'll be 4th down and about 10. And again, if you're just tuning in, you're going, why are they stopping the clock? They needed to run.
Start some controversy.
They're trying to score, man. It's about them tiebreaker points.
Yeah, and that was the delayed run we were talking about, just run a little different way. That time Clark doing a really nice job staying at home and making this a long 4th down attempt.
Here's our Beluga Air. Whale of a collision. We saw it a little bit earlier. Right there on the sidelines, coming up and laying a lick. The Roosevelt Rough Riders secondary did that a lot tonight. And our whale of a collision goes to Charles Williams. Check that. That's Ivan Garcia, who also had 2 interceptions. We knew he made a couple plays early in the first half, and that was one of them. And then in the second half, he had those 2 interceptions in the red zone, ending Clark drives at crucial times.
Yeah, that first drive to start the third quarter was a backbreaker for Clark. I mean, they went right down the field and then turned it over late in that drive. Remember earlier in the game, too, they had a big play down the field that they couldn't hold on to the football.
All right, 4th and 7. Firing and completing it to the 21-yard line is Marcajani.
You gotta like that, right? Talk about court awareness. Run the route to get the sticks. Does exactly that, and a great throw and catch to all but salt this one away. But let's see if Roosevelt can stick another one in.
1:05 to go. They have 1 timeout remaining. They run Carroll. Carroll cuts inside. Carroll to the 5. Carroll, touchdown! His 5th of the night! Oh my goodness!
I'm still trying to compute in my small little mind the moves and the subtle cuts that he makes to break free of would-be tacklers. Absolutely unbelievable.
Now they're going for 22 on the tie-breaking situation. Clark beat Churchill by 21. They'll snap it to Carroll. Carroll is in for the 2-point conversion. And it's 36-14.
Well, let's see how they did it. Another look at the run, low angle style.
Oh, that cut, both of them to the left.
Just seriously good. And then on the 2-point conversion, you're trying to get some points to possibly help you in a tiebreaker. Who else do you want getting into the end zone for a 6th time, even though that one's only going to count for 2? What a performance by these Roosevelt Rough Riders and Brennan Carroll.
One of the great performances in TNL history. 36 carries, 272 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, and a reception of 51 yards, which puts him over the 300-yard total yard mark, and 5 touchdowns total.
Not to mention a 2-point conversion.
322 total yards and 5 scores.
Wonder if somebody's going to drive the bus for him on the way home. Doing everything but.
He's only about less than 20 yards shy of the all-time TNL rushing record. Just an amazing performance we witnessed here tonight on Thursday Night Lights.
You know, they've been really judicious by not wearing him out during the course of the year, but as you can see, I mean, we're getting down to crunch time, and there's no need to save Brennan Carroll for something that may not exist. Roosevelt going all out tonight in this football game, and boy, did they really put together not only a great game plan, but defensively and offensively, they've just been really magnificent this evening.
Clark, no timeouts left, but they do have, as we say, incentive to try and go score, because it's all about the tiebreaker points right now. They complete that one in the flat, short of the first down. Clock will run. They can't stop it. Metzger going deep again. Airmails that one. That will stop the clock. Astros lead the Rangers 10-3 in the bottom of the 8th. If you're keeping track of the ALCS. After losing the first 2 at home, they'll win the next 2 on the road. Game 3, Game 4, Game 5 tomorrow.
And best of 7 turns into a best of 3, just like we like it here in Texas. Big ball games in October, and may as well be your 2 squads that reside in your state.
Metzger under pressure again, incomplete. That was 3rd down. It'll be 4th down and 4. And we have a flag here.
I know we got to pick a player of the game, and it's not going to be all that hard tonight to kind of sift through who gets what, but the job that Henry, Alvarado, and Ali have done for these Roosevelt Rough Riders, rushing 3 guys. I mean, this is just elite level defensive line play by those 3 fellas.
Dominant. Led to those 3 interceptions, 2 by Gaines, 1 by Salazar. Gaines very much a candidate for the player of the game, if not for a nearly record-breaking performance by Carroll. Metzger throws that one incomplete. There was contact down there, and that's going to be personal foul maybe and pass interference, both. Late,
sure,
unnecessary shot there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, sure is a luxury you have as a defense, right? When you can just rush 3 guys and get that much pressure on the opposing team's quarterback.
Ali has been legit, elite tonight. You're right. It's time for our Ron Hoover Marine and RV play of the night. You could pick about 10 for this one, and most of them have been with number 6. But Chris Kotfus and Brian Watts chose this one in the booth. Mine too. That was just a great design. Faked everybody out. Carroll kept running and got his 1 receiving touchdown of the night.
Yeah, when you freeze essentially one side of the defense and come up with that, well done.
So Clark has the football at the 33-yard line of Roosevelt with 20 seconds to go. They're down 22. There's no chance to win. They beat Churchill by 21. Roosevelt's beating them by 22. Their mission to score a field goal, and 19 would give them the edge over Roosevelt in some sort of 4-way tie. So points of any kind here could be the difference in who goes to the playoffs and who does not. And they're making me do math, which is not ever a good thing.
Well, you notice I'm not bailing you out on any of this, so you're in good company.
Metzger gonna fire, and caught, and touchdown, Ford.
Boy, that's one of the few throwing lanes that Philip Metzger has had where somebody wasn't right in his face in this entire second half. But you see what happens when he does. He did a really good job climbing the pocket, stepping up, and this Ford kid really looks like a really good, talented football player, right? Looks the part.
Height's extra point is up and through. It's 36-21. Now the fun really begins. Does Roosevelt try to score with about 10 seconds to go after the kickoff?
Or does Clark throw an onside kick at you?
Yeah.
You have to, right?
Why not? But if you do and you don't get it, you give them great field position to go win the tiebreak again. So,
Boy,
I don't know.
Strong throw by Metzger. A little wrist rocket right there, right on him.
Ford's had a nice night. The 5 catches, the 138 yards receiving, and the touchdown. Chris Koffa's dialing up another flashback from 10 years ago.
Ford will fake it, hand it again to Valier. Valier's got some room in the middle. And Brandon Valier pops it.
See ya.
Ford hands. Valier's got all the room in the world. He's going to score. He's very good at finding the hole, as you see right there. He's going to score again.
So you're really good in space. You're really good when there's a lot of chaos going on.
They do the squib. Look out, that's Carroll with it. You don't want that. He's taken down with only 6 seconds to go here, and we'll have one more play. I remember Valier, fantastic player for Clark back in those days.
Yeah, we've had some good ones here over the last several years, right? You got Ben Gibson playing at Trinity and Nikos Varelis playing at Wyoming as a DB. Can't forget about our guy Big Ben Sims, right?
Big Ben Sims playing in the NFL after a terrific career at Baylor. There's Big Ben Sims.
It's a funny thing watching these guys, like as good as Ben was in high school, I'm sure he would tell you that he wasn't the fastest guy around, and how he worked on his speed over his time at Baylor and then before he went to the NFL. But good for him, man, holding it down as the third tight end for the Green Bay Packers.
Last play of the game, Marcagiani's going to fire into a crowd. And that's it. Ford catches it, and the ball game is over. The final 36-21. Roosevelt comes out the victors, but the playoffs still very much up for grabs. They stay alive, at least with the win tonight. They'll be happy about that. The Clark Cougars can still probably clinch their own destiny with a win next week, but it is way too confusing for me to even start to tell you what has to happen when it comes to Churchill and Brandeis and Clark and Roosevelt and a few more that are still in the
Marshall,
hunt in that very crowded District 28 6A. When we come back, we'll hand out the Monarch Hardware, our player of the game, Wonder Who, and Coach Carroll will get the trophy when we come back for the postgame show on Thursday Night Lights.
Tonight's broadcast of Thursday Night Lights is sponsored by Taco Cabana, the Gomez Law Firm, Steel North Star Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Centro Med, Enroll SA, Countywide Service Company, Dr. Drake Sleep Solutions, Christus Children's, San Antonio Sports, Valero, San Antonio Metropolitan Health District, Vietnam Army Grunt Museum, Beluga Air, Rhino Roofers, Texas Kidney Foundation, Air and Plumbing Today, Ron Hoover RV and Marine, Harlandale Independent School District, San Antonio Zoo, and Monarch Trophy Studio. Welcome to the Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights postgame show, presented by the Gomez Law Firm.
Whether it was throwing it, whether it was catching it, whether it was running it, 6 with quite a few 6s here tonight, and Matt Roy is with the victorious Roosevelt Rough Riders.
Yeah, Chuck, we're with the victorious Roosevelt Rough Riders, guys. That's a win, and we're still in playoff contention. Let's hear it. All right. I think we know who the player of the game's going to, but before we do that, I got a lot of shout-outs for a lot more guys. First of all, offensive line, give yourself a round of applause. Let's go. Offensive line had a great game, had to make room for this guy, but Ivan Gaines as well, 2 picks on the defense. Josiah Ali, 2 chase down sacks. Who says big man can't run? But the player of the game, and I think this one was the easiest one of the year. We had 36 carries, 273 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground, plus the wheel route up here, 2 receptions, 51 yards, 324 total yards. Mr. Brennan Carroll. I'm out of breath, saying all those numbers. That was a lot. You get the player of the game trophy. You also are going to the San Antonio Zoo. Our wonderful representative is going to give you 4 tickets to the zoo. Congratulations there, man. All right. So 36 carries. Were you thinking I really want to run all over the place all week?
Yeah, man. So going in, we studied that throughout the whole practice, game planning for this game. We had 3 losses, so we had to bounce back, and going into this, we knew I was going to get the ball a lot. The receivers going to get open and give them the ball, so, yeah.
I mean, when playmakers make plays, good things happen on the field. So you guys are still in playoff contention right now. You guys are going into a really tough game against Reagan next week. How are you going to carry this momentum? You going to have to get 50 carries next week, or what are we doing?
Nah, man, we just got to do what we did this game. Just trust our coaches, and then trust my O-line to get my blocks, my receivers, trust my quarterback. So it's all about trust, and then our defense played a heck of a game playing the passing, and stopping their Clark is really good pass team. So stopping that was a big part of this win. So just going into next game like that, so she gets a win.
Congratulations, my man. Coach, let's get you up here. All right, we talked to son. Now we got to talk to dad. So, what's it like for you to see your son do all of that and do it for your team? Do it. This is your second time doing this as well with your other son as well. So, what's it like for you to do this? We talked about it a little bit on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome opportunity to get to coach your own kid and have a chance to do it a second time. But at the end of the day, too, not taking away from my own kid and stuff like that, but I got a bunch of kids. And so these guys did an excellent job tonight doing things we asked them to do to kind of bounce back and get it done. So it's pretty exciting.
Coach, I asked you before we came on air, is it weird, you guys won the game, but you wanted to win by 21 for tie-breaking purposes, and you're trying to chase points? How is the end of a game situation like that for you in these situations?
When you're on a 3-game losing streak and you get a win, that's all I'm worried about right now. It's a win over Clark, and we got us a big win here tonight, and I'm going to enjoy it nonetheless, and then we'll just take the next step as we keep going.
All right, Coach, and last question. We're going to Reagan next week for you. What do you guys got to do to get a win against the undefeated Reagan Rattlers?
Right now, we're going to enjoy this win, and we're going to take care of that and go all week long working, and then we'll worry about when the Rattlers come up, and then we're going to play Roosevelt football.
All right, Coach. Congratulations. This is for you guys. Congratulations, guys.
All right, the Roosevelt Rough Riders keep their playoff hopes alive with a big win over Clark. We're coming back to wrap it up right after this.
Joined now
Welcome
by
to the
Brennan.
Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights postgame
Going to
show,
celebrate.
presented
Going to
by
San
the
Antonio
Gomez Law Firm.
That's our player of the game, Brendan Carroll. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. 36-21, our final.
Nice. Congratulations. You can keep
As Brennan Carroll's going to the San Antonio Zoo. Our thanks to the Zoo for their sponsorship this year. It was one heck of a football game and back and forth affair early on. Here's our Harlandale Independent School District game highlights. The Clark Cougars tied this game at 7. Outstanding diving touchdown by Gardner. And then there's 5 other touchdowns by just one guy, Chuck.
And again, we've talked about this all evening long. He just does it so many different ways. He come right at you, smash you in the face. That one, big boys up front doing the job there. And then Roosevelt lulling you to sleep with these runs, and then they come hit you over the top on a wheel route. Clark getting right back in this football game, though, in the second half. Their special teams coming up with a really big play, and then moments later, they're in the end zone. Cut this lead to a one-score game, and just like that, it was game on again. And you're thinking, okay, plenty of time. Clark still can make something happen, but so can number 6. Plenty of time left on the clock for him to make something happen as well, which he did. Brennan Carroll, what a performance tonight, doing it all kinds of different ways. Clark, though, getting in one in with Ford and Metzger here at the end. But in the end, it was
huge
number
touchdown
6.
in playoff standings. We're going to be off next week. When we come back on November the 2nd, we'll have one of the great old 70s rivalries in city history, back when there was only one team going to the playoffs. You had to go 10-0. If you went 9-0 and then lost this game, you were staying home. Lee and Churchill bringing back memories of Tommy Kramer and all the greats. That's coming up on November the 2nd. The executive producer of Thursday Night Lights is Dean Radla. For Chuck McIntyre in the booth, Matt Roy on the sidelines, our statistician extraordinaire, Nikki Six, Funky Cole Medina, Brian Watts and his crew of camera wizards that bring us all the action, and of course, our producer that makes it all happen, Chris Kotfus. It's his show. We're just living in it. We'll see you next time on November 2nd on Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights.